at the intersection of academia and companies. There is a large academic consortium called BharatGen that is supported. There are startups like Satomia and many other startups which have gotten funding of a GPU grant and ability to do that. Plus, in our India, AI mission is collaborating with us on AI for science and engineering. We are doing many things with them. And we've got lots of proposals. We have no shortage. We've got over 2,000 proposals, and 1,800 if I'm not mistaken. We are obviously down selecting. There are many cases where we do have to improve our collaboration, improve the depth in what we want to do. And certainly in the area of open source models, efficient AI models, and environments from your side is one way can do a lot, and this is what we've done. So I would urge more focus on combination of developing efficient models and effective models towards applications. That is the focus of thinking, so that we focus on developing and getting the benefits of AI rather than do a capital raise where we are mindlessly spending money on a large, very large cluster, which makes no financial sense. So I think we are being sensible in terms of how we invest. But there is no shortage of support, and we have a full mission work program. I am running almost 1,000 crore program in AI for science and engineering, and we will be running another cycle of that. I would urge you to collaborate with others, so that we catch the next bus and move on. So all this story of buses and missing it and all this. This is the point. I was a CEO of Microsoft. I know how AI works. So there is enough support, and I urge people to focus on the real thing rather than using those second-hand information.
So we have one last question.
Namaskar, sir. I am Satish Man, faculty from Department of Humanities and Management and Engineering. So my question pertaining to one of the Maha article that you mentioned about value chain programs. So if I talk about the agriculture commodity which are specifically put to some small clusters in particular region, is it applicable for those such kind of value chain development for such commodities or such agriculture forest related produce?
See, we have different programs in Maha have different focus. Right? So we have a Maha drones program, that is for developing technologies for components and subassemblies. That is not for applications of drones. We have another program called leapfrog demonstrators for societal innovation. So there, reimagining agriculture is one of the verticals of that Maha program. And so that invites, you can reimagine agriculture using drones there, for example, or and then there we also allow, NGOs and others to be, OPIs. It has to be led by a research entity as a PI, and so on. So if you are a Section 8 company which is focused on this thing, which focused on research in the space, that can also apply. So we have been liberal in allowing both who can participate in these programs and how we can participate. For example, there is a Maha Water program right now. Given where you are in terms of the geography and the water challenges there, please apply to that program. That obviously, even though agricultural and water is a huge use, so surface water and other things are all part of that. Maha Water was just announced earlier this week. So you can certainly collaborate. So we would like to see the academia and labs, etc. leading, and of course you can collaborate with other entities who can be partnering with that, right? And so there is more and more opportunities, but I would urge you to read the specifics of each program because the details matter.
Thank you very much, sir.
And we are follow social media because if you want, you can follow this WhatsApp channel and you can just subscribe and get all the links. You just go to YouTube or the other links, for example, LinkedIn or Twitter. So all these programs are announced there. We also announce our webinars. You can go and track all of that. So we'll be doing webinars in our shortly. We already did webinars for other programs. So I think these are different ways in which we try to outreach. But please do follow our media and also read the details of the program. And I encourage you to consider.
Thank you, sir. So if there are no other questions, we will thank our speaker for joining again, thank you very much for joining us and sparing your valuable time, giving us insights about the possible opportunities, structure, ANRF, structure of ANRF and others. So, thank you very much.
We hope you have a very good conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, with this, we shall proceed towards our next keynote session. Our next keynote speaker and guest of honor of this conclave is Dr. Sangeeta M. Kasture, Scientist G and Advisor in Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. So, ma'am has already joined us online. Ma'am, can we start your session? Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Am I audible? Yes, ma'am. So, first of all, I take this opportunity to introduce our speaker. Dr. Kasture is currently serving as Scientist G and Advisor in the Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, where she leads initiatives in biomanufacturing, carbon capture utilization, bioenergy, sustainability and climate-focused technologies. Previously, she served as Scientist G and Advisor at the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, where she headed the National Bioenergy Program and played a key role in promoting renewable energy projects, innovation and skill development. During her tenure, more than 200 industrial bioenergy projects were sanctioned and commissioned. She has also served as Director General of both the National Institute of Solar Energy, Gurgaon, and Sardar Swan Singh National Institute of Bioenergy, Kapurthala. Dr. Kasture has made significant contributions towards clean energy innovation, sustainable technologies, and vision innovation initiatives at national and global levels. She holds a PhD in Chemical Engineering from the Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai, and has carried out postdoctoral research in Poland and Sweden. We are honored to have her with us today. Ma'am, we request you to kindly deliver your talk.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. Good morning to everyone. The director and I and all your students, the organizers. It gives really pleasure to be part of this industry academia conclave at NIT. This is very important because collaboration with industry and academia, because research is happening separately in silos here in the institutes, research organizations, academia, whereas industries, they want some solutions. So there are certain challenges. And this is the interface, is very important, as we also talked about NRF industries which are connecting to academic industries. Similarly, DPT, Department of Biotechnology, which is part of the Institute of Science and Technology, has been supporting research and development, mostly translational and fundamental also, in specifically life science biotechnology area. So this innovation and product-led development is very important for the Viksit Bharat. When you are saying if India has to lead, we need to have innovation-led product-led development. That's very important, and very economic academia or the young students, and they can get it because we have a great mass of young people who are very much energetic. So that's very important. I have seen that there are 9 thematic areas. These are very vital for growth of the country towards Viksit Bharat. And also, you might be knowing today is the World Environment Day, which is being celebrated globally, and this is a very good platform how we can develop technologies which are sustainable, how we can grow sustainably. That's a very important message which is given across the globe. And if it is also part of that, yesterday we had an event on that. We had a webinar. So we have been supporting sustainable technologies. There are multiple schemes as mentioned by DSP and NRS. DPT has also several scientific directorates. There I am not going to talk about all those things. Everything is available on the website. You can make DPT india.gov.in. So we'll find out all these various sectors, various areas are there. Different instruments are there for funding, right from HRD to the resource development to international collaboration. That is the life science and biotechnology space. NIT Jalandhar, as we have, when I had taken charge as DG of eBay, the same day we had MOU with eBay, National Institute of Bioenergy and NIT Jalandhar. That's why I know we were directors, so we have close, because there are close collaborations happening with that. When I was at NRE, holding this position of the education. So I will also talk about the energy and which are the emerging areas, mostly more focused on bioenergy. But there is, as you know, that India has a target of 500 gigawatt, and one major focus has been given on solar and wind development, contribution followed by hydro and energy, etc. We also need to look at, we need large basket of technologies. Course storage is very important when we look at that. We have surplus energy that's coming from solar during daytime. So how to do it during night time? So storage is very important. And there it plays, I think, technology plays a very important role. Specifically the power electronics or the components. Can we have those components here in India? We also need to have capacity building in these areas. So I think NIT and such institutes can significantly contribute to this, and so that we do have the domestic manufacturing, which is being agenda, and where students can contribute a lot, and NIT can play a significant role. I have seen the list of participants here. The semiconductor is a major topic. Many speakers are there. We are going to talk about semiconductors. So I also touch upon various emerging renewable energy technologies. One is, for example, geothermal technology. We can explore those things, because if you see that there are different enthalpies are there. So if it is low enthalpy, we can use it for cooling and heating, etc. Whereas if enthalpy is higher, then we can take it for power production. There are different reference cycles are there. Even low boiling point also can be used. Andaman and Nicobar, Andaman I can tell about this. These are good opportunities because actually volcanoes are there here. So we need to just observe those things. So we can also think of those technologies, how we can indigenize, how we can have those projects and reduce dependency. Another thing is, apart from geothermal, we can also think of tidal energy and natural hydrogen. These are also other options where not much has been done, so there are good opportunities for even startups and yes. Coming to the bioenergy space, again we have seen the West Asia crisis and how dependencies India is also got impacted on the supply. So how we can reduce this dependency? Government of India has multiple schemes for this, subsidy for cooking and for various other schemes. Is promoted, the subsidies are given for the private as well as government sectors, and so various lot of financial schemes are available, right from the biomass supply chain aggregation to the policy of tech market. So these CPD is one of the very low hanging fruit, which is evolving.
Slide right, then turn right.
Project. However, we need to have much innovation happening in these areas. When CPD is converted, when it is verified, corporate verification, there is a lot of carbon dioxide involved. So can we capture that CO2 and use that heat? That is also another action. So under the bio-EC policy of Department of Biotechnology, which is again approved by Cabinet Secretary, there are also a lot of opportunities are there. We have several verticals are there. Our department has been supporting these R&D projects in these areas in order to foster the biomanufacturing and manufacturing. The areas are bio-based chemicals, bioplastics, testing, pharmaceutical ingredients, enzymes, etc. The second is functional foods and smart proteins. The third is precision biotherapeutics, that is covers monoclonal antibodies, mRNA therapeutics, cell and gene therapy, climate resilient agriculture. We can also think of agri-biologicals, biofuel and carbon capture, and futuristic marine and space research. So these are all these verticals. Apart from that, we are also supporting these startups, these facilities in the form of bioenergy, we call it as bioenergy, which are the biofoundries and biomanufacturing hubs and bio-AI hubs. So we are linking this with the AI, biotechnology AI. So this the bio-AI hub call is active. So all proposals are being invited for this, and this is active till 30th June. So I think the next year, so you can look at those options if you have those connectivity, bio and even AI. So these are all. So this is all interdisciplinary areas. We need to connect, and only then innovations can happen. So far, we will be having supporting various areas.
Hello, Hanji.
In this environment and in this space, we are looking at biofoundries, which is connecting the industries. We are also supporting industries to set up biofoundries for facilitate biological and decommercialization of technology through biotechnology industry research council. We have set up more than 11 such biofoundries so far, and so many multiple such proposals are still coming in the pipeline, and 6 biofoundries are set up at the institutional level. So they are working at different verticals from these areas, whether it could be energy, environment, or molecular antibodies, smart proteins, or enzymes, etc. Talking about the multi-ethanol or enzymes part, for example, biofuels, we know that there is one supplier of enzymes. We need to have, if we have to reduce the cost of these things, biofuels, we need to have our own indigenous enzymes. That is what it has to be robust. It can also take any feedstock. Generally is based in Punjab, so you have plenty of biomass available with the rice straw, which is also very important, and there is a very challenges are there with this. Apart from the supply chain, how to convert it convert biomass effectively so that it can use for the higher yields of either CPG or ethanol. So we are also supporting enzymes. R&D has supported, and now we are taking up further for the analysis of the biomass. The biofoundry network and biomanufacturing platforms are expected to play a pivotal role in India's transition to clean and green technologies. We use eco-dependent and establish the country as a frontrunner to global bioeconomy, impacting health, agriculture, food, energy, and environment. So I think because the Navy Janata has all the disciplines, various areas, and we are taking the technologies, all the engineers will have a lot of opportunities to do both fundamental as well as translational work, which is very important, and how to connect this with the industry so that the technologies are taken to higher tier level, so that we are commercialized and we have indigenous technologies and indigenous products which can contribute to Viksit Bharat and towards the net zero goal which our Honorable Prime Minister given us vision for India. With this, I would stop and once again thank organizers for giving me the opportunity to talk about. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, also you can go to the website for biomanufacturing as well as the wiki website. All those details are available. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So I thank Dr. Sangeeta and Kasturi, Scientist G, Department of Biotechnology, for this insightful talk. And after this, I think we have a lot to think about as an academician or an industry. In that there is a lot more we have to do before we move on. So we can take 1 or 2 questions from the audience. Please.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि जैसे बायो फ्यूल्स आजकल पेट्रोल में भी हम सोच रहे हैं यूज करने के लिए, या जो हमारे BS6 नॉर्म्स के अकॉर्डिंग है जैसे E20 या E70 तक भी हम सोच रहे हैं, तो इसका मैम जो बैड इफेक्ट हो रहा है हमारे कंबशन इंजन्स में, उसको कैसे हम ओवरकम करेंगे? जैसे नहीं बहुत कंप्लेंट्स निकल रही है गाड़ियों में कि इस वजह से स्लज बन रहा है या इसका जो बाई प्रोडक्ट्स है वो इफेक्ट कर रहे हैं गाड़ियों को, तो इसको हम कैसे फ्यूचर में ओवरकम करेंगे हम?
See, there is nothing that we need to have a stronger norm standards from the biofuel. There are no such problems are there. Only thing is, what is the ethanol is produced from which source. That is very important. Suppose it is produced from the molasses or even rice flour, etc. Those things. So what are the contaminants that we need to look at? Otherwise, ethanol doesn't have any problem. Except calorific value would be lower than petrol, but otherwise there should not be any issue. If it is purified, completely eliminated with the purified. Not be any issue from that. Because Britain and many Brazil countries have already been using this ethanol, the litmus and ethanol. There should not be any issue from that. I hope I answered your question.
Good morning, ma'am. Myself, Dr. David, Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering. Ma'am, my question is, you talked about bioplastics. So, what aspects of bioplastics actually you are looking for? Like, if I am preparing for a proposal, like, it should be a production of bioplastic or application of bioplastic. Like, I just wanted to know about that.
Both things. So we need to have bioplastics which are biodegradable and coming from the biological bio-waste, from the biomass or fermentation-based process, biological process, so that we are not dependent on the petrochemicals. So we have to use the petrochemicals that we are so reductions are there. Biodegradability aspect, cost and its properties are very important. We are looking at how these technologies will be taken up and develop these polymers at certain TRL. So there are different verticals are there. So you look at that, those things. So some novelty has to be there, and plus it should be viable. So that's very important. It's cost economics, and then CA those things are very important. Of course, it would be commercial once it is economically viable.
We can our last question. Okay, so good morning, ma'am. I am Insha Zamir from Department of Chemical Engineering. My question is how we can connect with biofoundry network that you were talking about, where we can pitch our expertise and research ideas.
Okay, very good question. So so there are different specific areas out there for biofoundry and all startups and all we can connect with them. One is based in the Navi Mohali, very close to you, your institute. You can look at those there, they are working on agri-biotic, protein, agri-processes, secondary agricultural products, those things. But other things also, there are biofoundries at PHST and Delhi, ICGP, they are working on enzymes and National Center for Cell Science, Pune. So we can connect it if you are to otherwise we can explore those things, so we can also be able to connect to those respective biofoundries. If you want to use the facilities or if you want to do some research. You can look at, we are also going to develop the website from that, and that will be posted on the website of all biofoundries. So it will be available on the website.
Good morning, ma'am. I am from Kirloskar. We are actually using methanol in our some of the products, and gensets are working fine on that. The engines are working fine. So even, in fact, one of the gensets is working in Mr. Nitin Gadkari's house also on methanol. So what are the challenges? What are the commercial challenges with methanol usage? But why it is not being commercialized?
So the cost, what is the cost of methanol? It should be commercial. That should not be any.
But it's still not happening. We also want that it should be commercialized.
So maybe I think that comes to the policy from the Ministry of Petroleum. So if you have a policy, then it would be so that I think the drive has to be there. If we have the policy of methanol, then the market can take.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone. So with this, we thank our speaker for this insightful address. and discussion about possible interdisciplinary opportunities in bioenergy, biofoundries, and different verticals possible for collaborations. So thank you very much, ma'am. And I would also like to mention that ma'am was supposed to join in person, but due to her important meeting, she is joining us online. We hope we can host her next time in person in NIT Jalata. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and thank you and wish you all the best for this video.
Thank you.
Namaste.
With this, we move to our next keynote session. Our next keynote speaker is Dr. Shivananda R. Koteshwar, Senior Vice President and Managing Director, India Site, Astra Labs. Dr. Shivananda is a distinguished leader in the semiconductor and AI ecosystem and currently heads Astra Labs India operations, driving innovations in AI, connectivity and cloud scale technologies. He has held leadership roles at globally renowned organizations including Intel, MediaTek and Synopsys, contributing significantly to India's semiconductor and innovation ecosystem. Apart from his industry leadership, he is actively involved in mentoring startups and innovation initiatives through NITI Aayog, MITI and ESSCI. He is also an academician, author and mentor, serving as Professor of Practice and adjunct professor at leading institutions. Dr. Shivananda is deeply committed to education, entrepreneurship and social impact and is the author of several technical books in semiconductor design and system architecture. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Shivananda. Sir, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. While setting it up. So first of all, it's truly an honor to be a part of this conclave, be amongst the industry and academia stalwarts. Thank you very much. And also Dr. Neha and team, thank you very much for all the logistics and arrangements you guys have made. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Today I will be talking about the whole AI infrastructure 2.0. Now, what has changed in the last couple of years? I think it's important to understand what is the real problem statement. Somebody asked here, is AI happening? Is it real? I think what we have seen in the last 6 months especially is that the enterprise AI has kicked off. Most of the companies have adopted AI. They have seen the benefits of integrating AI into the workflows. And we are not only seeing productivity improvements, we are also seeing a lot of improvements in the day-to-day activities which the companies are doing. So AI is definitely here to stay, and it is going to explode in the next 5 years for sure. Is India behind? I don't think so, because I have seen multiple different Indian startups, multinational companies working in India on this, and especially the government initiative around this. I think we are, I would not say we are ahead of the game, but we are there. I don't think we need to worry about it. We need more researchers, we need more investments happening in the AI infrastructure to actually make it happen and real in India. So let's first understand what is the real problem statement which is happening. Right? What has fundamentally changed in terms of compute? Some of you might have worked on this extensively, so it might be a repeat for them, but what has happened is, in the last 15 years, one computer used to do 100 jobs. Today, thousands of computers do one job. That's the biggest change which we have seen in the workload itself. So when we talk about GPU and compute, you had a very simple cluster of compute, storage and networking elements which work perfectly fine for the kind of workloads which was coming into the computer. But what has happened right now is it is exponentially scaled, and you have clusters of GPU working pretty much on one particular use case. So that's the biggest change what we have seen in the infrastructure. Now, what has happened in the workload itself? Three things. I mean, there are many things, but I would like to highlight these three things. AI training and inference demand has increased massively right now. couple of years, last 5 years, I would say, the investment was pretty much on the training side. So GPUs had a lot of relevance. But today, you might have seen CPUs coming back to relevance, mainly because of the inference. And that's the reason why Intel stocks are going up right now. Every company which is working on the CPU side suddenly has seen a fantastic use case in the inference side. So there are a lot of innovative solutions coming up in the inference side right now. The second one is every hyperscalers, which is your Meta, Google, AWS, everybody wants to offer something unique to the end user. End user can be a corporate, end user can be a customer. Everybody wants to be unique, so which means everybody wants to have their own AI accelerator. So we have hundreds of companies working on different AI accelerators right now, different platforms, which offers very specific thing depending on the use case. You might require bandwidth, there is one platform. You might require latency, you have another platform. You might require power, there is a different platform. So depending on the requirements and the workload, there is a proliferation of AI accelerator platforms right now. That's the second problem statement which is happening. And the third one is, people have already put in money. What is the return on investments on all the investments I've done? Is the farm being utilized effectively? More than 40% of the servers do not work when they are commissioned. So there is a lot of challenges. How do you really track it? More than 50% of GPUs are waiting for the workloads to come. So you have invested heavily, but if it's not being utilized effectively, then there is no return on investments. So companies have started asking, what is the return on investment on the infrastructure what I have put? So these are the three fundamental things which is driving the entire infrastructure demands itself right now on the AI side. The model size are increasing, as you have seen. Every 6 months, the number of parameters are doubling right now. On the second side, the memory has hit the bandwidth wall right now. So there is a huge demand on the memory. I mean, people who are tracking the memory stocks can understand what's happening in this market right now, right? Almost all the memory companies are touching $1 trillion market cap right now, and data and network bandwidth is hitting right now. So when you have compute challenges, connectivity challenges, bandwidth challenges, and memory challenges, you really need to look at how do I really connect these things correctly and efficiently. So unless you have a purpose-built connectivity solutions, you will not be able to unlock the AI potential out there. So connectivity has become very, very relevant right now in the entire AI infrastructure market. That's exactly where we fit in. As a company, Astra Labs focuses primarily on the connectivity solution. We do not do compute, we do not do memories, but we work with all the companies out there on the connectivity solution and platforms. Let's skip this slide. But before I get into the next slide, I hope everybody understands the definition of scale up and scale up. We keep hearing about these terms pretty much whenever you touch upon AI infrastructure. To make it very simple, when you have to, for example, if you have to increase the memory of your laptop, you connect a USB, that's called scale up. You are increasing the memory here, right, on the computer. But let's say you need a terabyte of memory on your computer. What you do is connect to the cloud, and that's called a scale out. Same thing applies in the compute world in the AI. If you are increasing the compute within the rack itself or rack to rack, it's called a scale up architecture. When you connect across the cloud, it's called a scale out architecture. Whenever you have a scale up architecture, there are different protocols which works in this. When you're working on the scale out architectures, there are different protocols which work on this. Again, the challenge is how do you effectively connect these devices together. So as a company, we are focusing primarily on the connectivity space, as I told you. Some of the products what we have is primarily on the PCI retimer side, Ethernet retimer side. PCI retimer is a protocol which connects different devices within the board. You have Ethernet retimers which connects rack to rack solutions. You have memory controllers, which is a CXL memory controller protocol which is used for memory expansion. And finally, you have a PCI switch, which is primarily used for scale up and scale out architecture. So again, in the connectivity space, ensuring all our customers are able to offer the best infrastructure solution for the end use case, which is primarily managing the AI workloads. So if you really look at the solution itself, as I told you, the protocols which we work on is PCI, CXL, Ethernet, UALink, which is kind of works in parallel with NVLink, or the new protocol which Broadcom is working on right now. So these are the different protocols we're working. So if any of your students or researchers working in these protocols, I'll be more than happy to work and collaborate with you. And with this, right, it creates a fundamental requirement in terms of the AI infrastructure itself. As I told you, connectivity becomes a very, very important aspect of how we connect all these devices together. In the infrastructure side itself, why did they use 2.0? So what has happened is, we are witnessing the most fundamental transformations in the data center architecture itself. We are moving from AI 1.0 to 2.0. What I mean by that is, earlier, the unit of compute used to be the server. People used to say, how many servers do you have? What has changed is, today, people are talking about racks. How many racks do you have? So the unit of compute itself has changed to being a rack right now from the server side right now. The reason why we're looking at is because the scale of performance is getting limited by the chassis of the server itself. So if you really have to scale up, you need to look at the racks right now. The components were optimized for server form factor. Now that has to be looked at for the rack form factors right now. And scale out was basically multiple servers over a network. Right now it's multiple racks over a network. So all the infrastructure, what we are seeing being built, is actually in the infrastructure 2.0 right now. So the unit of compute, we no longer say it's a server, we have started talking about a rack. So you can imagine the complexity it brings in when you talk about a rack. Because the design of the rack, the connecting different racks together, rack-to-rack communication, rack to the cloud communication, everything becomes a big challenge right now. But the ultimate goal is not to create a closed rack system, because there are customers out there who's already providing a closed rack system. Now, when you do a closed rack system, you do not have control on any of the components in the rack. And you have been seeing and witnessing the challenges the government is facing, the private companies are facing right now in terms of getting these racks, because its availability is a big challenge. So one of the dreams we have as a company is to actually work on an open rack solution. What we mean by that is, there is so much of problem statements out there that there is no one single company can solve it. We need partnerships. We need to work with multiple different stakeholders who can expertise in one specific thing within the rack and work together and actually provide something which is useful, more relevant for the end customer. So we want to collaborate for both defining the architecture itself. We want to develop together as per the reference designs. We want to promote it together as one company and actually co-market it together, because we already have opened up a huge market for ourselves. We want to work with startups, we want to work with UH companies who work in this open architecture and work together. So that's the reason why we are a part of the open rack solution right now, and multiple different opportunities is being discussed right now with multiple different companies. And if you really look at the architecture right now, what exists, either you can go to a general purpose interconnect architect, which is an Ethernet based architect. We all know which company I'm talking about, but it's a closed system. You do not have solutions outside this rack. You need to buy the entire rack. The second one is very specific to the vendor. In this case, I'm talking about NVIDIA here. You can actually do a purpose-built scale-up, but again, it's a closed system. You have to look into the entire solution from one vendor, or you can go to open architecture like what I've shown here, wherein you have flexibility to define your own different solutions for either scale-up or scale-up. It's definitely purpose-built, but at the same time, you have the solution, you have the opportunity to actually do a multi-vendor solution. So if you like XPU from one company, if you like connectivity from another company, if you like storage from one company, you can actually do a mix and match, because the end user will define what kind of a rack architecture he or she needs. Because it all depends again on the kind of infrastructure what I'm trying to build. So that's the reason why we are a big supporter of an open ecosystem, and we're supporting it very actively right now. When we look at a solution, right, when we look at a rack scale architecture, you no longer can focus on providing chips. You need to look at chips, you need to look at boards, you need to look at a full solution, including a software platform, which we call it as a Cosmos, which basically does the reliability, availability and serviceability part of it. It does the fleet management, because it's very important to understand once you set up these humongous racks, how do you know that everything is working the way it's supposed to work? So it's very, very important to put the telemetry and diagnostics into the systems, so we're able to track it, and that's exactly what Cosmos does, and be able to do a link management and monitoring to make sure that reliability of what you set up is good. So this is what the entire open architecture looks like. And as a company, if you look at it, what are the different, if any of you are working on some problem statements and coming out with a solution, I think what is really important is to understand what are the drivers of the market, right? So what has happened is, if you really look at some of the drivers, most of the platforms are trying to address something which is multimodal in nature. No longer is one mode. We are looking at a multimodal kind of a workload which is coming in, and it's unbounded workloads. So if you have to address this, you need something, you need a platform which is efficient in energy. You need something which can do distributed systems. You can do something which supports both scale out and scale up architecture. So it's very, very important to address. Second, the application diversity is huge right now. You never know what people are using AI for. If you have to capture the diverse application of AI, you need to ensure you have the right number of accelerators supporting it. You need to ensure that you have a fantastic cadence to release it faster to the market, and you need to have a very, very strong model and infrastructure for training and inference right now. So, because you need to customize the workloads which is coming in. The last point which is important, which I mentioned earlier, is what is the return on investments for the massive build-outs right now. Now, if I have to measure the return on investments in the infrastructure, the most important thing is how do I ensure that what I have put has a maximum uptime, right? Nothing breaks down, because one node breaks down, the entire system breaks down. So you cannot afford to have a downtime on the infrastructure of what you have built. It's not like one server which is out. It's the whole infrastructure that gets out if something happens. Second one is, as I told you, you have put up thousands of GPUs. How do you ensure that all the GPUs are being utilized effectively? There should be a demand and supply match very correctly when you're talking about the AI infrastructure. And finally, you need to have a fantastic visibility into the infrastructure what you have built. Unless you have visibility, you cannot track it. Unless you have visibility, you cannot do serviceability. So it's very, very important to have the entire solution. Most of the companies I work with in India have mastered the art of hardware, but they do not have a software. They do not have a reference port. So how do you integrate it to the different products? I think that's the biggest challenge what we are seeing with most of the startups working in these areas right now in India. And as a company, the vision is clear. We want to look at open connectivity that anchors volume rack scale deployments, because we will see more and more deployments in the coming years. We want to look at a purpose-built solution which gives you the best performance, scalability, both scale up and scale out, and reliability into the infrastructure. We want to make sure that it's completely interoperable, manageable across different product lines, because remember, you are plugging and playing different product lines in it. So you need to ensure that you are able to support this. You want to ensure that innovation is open into this platform. You need to make sure that there is a multi-vendor support and a widely supported ecosystem, which means the software, what you're going to build, has to be something which is easy to manage and support and take on newer products and technologies onto this. And finally, you need to have a holistic end-to-end connectivity solution for the fastest time to market, because as I told you, customized solution is what the customers are expecting. So if you do not have a system which can quickly respond to the market requirements, you will fail in this, right? And the investments you are doing for this is more than hundreds of $millions. So you cannot risk it and wait for the market to mature. You are working with the market, you are working with the demands of the market, you are catering to the market requirements as and when the market grows and matures. So you don't have time to sit and relax and put a spec together and say, okay, don't disturb me for 18 months, I'll come out with this wonderful product which is going to shake the market. By that time, you will only be able to shake it. So it's very, very important to actually have a teaching partner, which we call it as. Very, very important to work with a teaching partner, and he or she works with you and make sure that you are successful, because your success is completely a part of their success. So it works very well together in the ecosystem today. Bigger companies are looking to partner with smaller companies and work together to give a fantastic solution to the AI infrastructure market. In India specifically, multiple different things are moving today. A lot of moving parts. We have seen a lot of investments happening in the semiconductor space. Though you're trying to put it all together under the umbrella of semiconductors, people who are in the industry know that these are completely diverse investments, right? One doesn't talk to the other. It's that kind of diversity which we are seeing in the country. Fantastic investments, and I think this is what country needed. The boost was required. The next 10 years is going to be a fantastic journey for us. Whether it's the assembly plants which is coming up, whether it's a fab which is coming up, any different investments which is happening, alternate solutions and other things, I think is good for the country. At the same time, we are seeing a fantastic boom in the startups. Government of India is supporting multiple different startups right now. But one of the things which, again, I don't know how many startup founders are here, but I want to say is most of the founders, what we have seen is has started with a fantastic problem statement, a global problem statement. But because of the non-availability of the funds, they tend to make the problem statement smaller and smaller, and finally they make the problem statement so small that it doesn't have a global relevance anymore. So please be aware of that. Yes, everybody knows it takes money. It takes a lot of money to actually prove yourself as a good startup in the semiconductor ecosystem. Just for people who are not from the semiconductor sphere, it takes around $80 million to $100 million to actually come out with your first check. So when you hear companies raising 7 million, 8 million, 10 million, remember that just the first step. They need to figure out a way to raise the next 50 million or 100 million. Otherwise, they will not be able to come out with the check. So it's very, very important for the startups to fix the global challenges which they're working on, to start it with and come out with the solution, so that they have the market to sell these products. I think that's the most important thing which I want to mention. Again, there are fantastic enablers in the ecosystem right now, whether it's university, whether it's government, whether it's startup, whether it's VCs. We're seeing a lot of energy, a lot of participation from different people. But also remember, semiconductor, I've been here 30 years in semiconductors. We have seen super cycles, right? We have been excited earlier, we have gone down, we have gone up. We have seen these cycles all the time. So it's very, very important to understand these cycles, right? What are the trigger points of the cycles? 2020, it was the invisible industry which actually boomed the semiconductor market. It was very cyclical in nature. It was very cost-driven. And semiconductors was behind the scene. And nobody really understood what is the role of semiconductors in day-to-day electronics at that time. 2025, today, right? It's all about AI. Anything you do is, AI is the current boom. It's all about accelerators. It's all about foundry power. You can see the news, the number of foundries which is coming up across the world right now. And there is definitely a supply chain tension. People who have not read the book Chip War, there's two now. Read the book. You'll understand the geopolitical reason why foundries are important, what is happening in the semiconductor industry, that people are looking into this, why the government of every country is looking at this industry so tightly right now. Right? That is the era we are in right now. 2030, right? Just another 4 years, we are talking about edge AI. Because it's all about inference now. Right? Training is done. most of the investments, most of the results, what we'll see is on the edge side. So edge AI will pick up. Electrification, we all know about this. So there will be a humongous push on the electrification and advanced packaging, because the kind of powers which these chips are doing and the size of the chip which we are designing right now, you need to look at 2.3D or a 3D packaging. So you cannot do it with a monolithic chip anymore. So it's because you have crossed the limits of physics when it comes to the size of the chip already. So there is no way you can do it in a monolithic size. So you need to look at multi-die and packaging technologies which actually supports the 3D packaging. Right now there is the 2.5D packaging technologies. And of course, compute, whatever we are seeing today, will change because the requirements what we have is 100x of what we are seeing right now. And that can be managed only with quantum. So you will see a spike in quantum investments and startups which is coming in these areas. We already have seen very good successful startups in the quantum in India right now. Two of those companies, one is in Hyderabad and I think one is in Bombay. And photonic, right? We are hitting the limits of copper connectivity right now. So when we go to 400 gig, the copper, you need to look at photonics. Right? And as a company, Astral Labs has already invested in photonics connectivity, and we try to push the copper connectivity as much as we can. But at the same time, we should be ready for the shift to the photonics. So we already have a photonic solution which will hit the market most probably at 28 mid or 29. 29 will be the era of photonics for sure. But until then, copper electronics, copper connectivity is very much in relevance, and we're working on that. And neuromorphic computing, again, there are like 1 or 2 startups in India which is working on this, but that's where the beyond 2030 will go. There's just a high-level slide for the people who are on the research side. But remember, I just put this slide on the agentic AI, which came in the newspaper just a week back. They have designed an entire RISC-V processor in 12 hours from 219 word specification. The specification is available on the net. You can take a look at it. The same RISC-V processor used to be a PhD thesis just a couple of years back. And today, it's a 12-hour work for a cloud machine. So, will chip design change? 100%. Today, I can give a Word document, I can dictate a Word document, and it will give me the first cut of RTL code, which is 80% correct. I can do IP validation, I can build a verification suite, I can do the entire physical design flow, I can do sign-offs, I can do multiple different things with AI tools right now. The EDA companies, Synopsys, Cadence already have put in the AI solutions in their workflow. Recently, Cadence announced a big shift in the way they design chips. So I think a lot of things will change. So again, people in academia and researchers, please adopt AI into everything you do, because otherwise you'll be left behind very fast. And if you have not used it, first try that. Design your RISC-V. And you don't have to be an electronics engineer for this. You'll be surprised that anybody can do a RISC-V design today if you understand what this processor does. So I think that's where the market is going, that's where the industry is going. So it's very important to be a step ahead if you're in academia to ensure that you catch the wave correctly. So I urge all of you to use all the different AI platforms out there and look at the different challenges and the opportunities the entire AI infrastructure is offering. Whether it's compute, whether it's storage, whether it's connectivity, whether it's the entire protocols which is used in any of these connections, or the high-speed connectivity. I think this is where the opportunity space is on the design part of it. Then again, remember, coolant is a big challenge. Do we do a liquid coolant right now? What kind of power we need to manage? Right? The power requirements of some of these things is so much that you need a whole city's power to run your racks. So where will the power come from? So it's very easy to say that we want to have semiconductor manufacturing centers and these data centers in our state. But at the end of the day, the question is, do you have enough power to support this humongous requirement which the market will have? And whatever announcements you have seen is just 10% of what they need. They will definitely ask for the remaining 90% from the state, and it will be very difficult to produce this power for these different farms which is coming up. So the challenge is out there. again, always challenges gives opportunities. So I wish all the best for all of you working in these areas, and hope to see you guys and partner with you on any of the solutions which I talked about. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shivnanda. So I think Dr. Shivnanda has correctly said that we need to work utilize the infrastructure we have, and we have to work really hard and keep pace with the rapid growing field. And this will be possible through collaboration and engagement across all fields of academia and industry. So we can have one or two questions from the audience.
Hello sir, this is Dr. Harimurugan from the Department of Electrical Engineering. So you talked about neuromorphic computing. Like, are we really in the race of this neuromorphic computing? Because in India we don't have manufacturers, whereas in US they already have the commercial products available. So this is my first question. My second question is about cost of AI. As of now, people are trying to use AI in each and every field, but what is going to happen once it gets saturated and it has been used in all the fields? What is going to be the cost of AI? Will it be work in our Indian scenario?
Laptop used to be 3 lakhs. Phone was to be 1.5 lakh rupees. More adoption will reduce the price. It will never increase the price. So yes, today there were reports I recently saw that the AI compute, the bills is much higher than people. So it's easier to replace this with people. That's like 2 steps, 10 steps going behind. Right? It is not going to work. Yes, temporarily there will be a spike in the investments and in the spend you do in the AI infrastructure. But at the end of the day, if you don't do it, you will be left behind. So people cannot replace AI. AI will replace people. So if anybody is thinking of trying to go back to people and it's cheaper in India, why don't we put 100 people rather than using the token and pay AWS or Meta or any of these Google or any of these companies? It doesn't work anymore. So I think more adoption will reduce the price and not increase the price. And specifically on the neuromorphic, again, it's 2030 and above, right? So there are research, quantum has been there for many years. It's not that it's something new, but we have the compute power to actually enable it. AI has been there for the last 30 years. And we are talking about AI today, mainly because we have the compute power to implement some of the algorithms which could have never been implemented earlier. So I think we are not late again, right? There is enough to be done. Very basic architectures are being talked about right now. We might be able to do the next architecture which is really required for that particular version. That's what I feel. Use cases done 5 years back is very different than the use cases which is happening right now. People are using AI for, change this image, put mustache on me, put a wig on me kind of stuff. That it will fade away after some time. Right? You will start using AI for the real reason why you want to use AI. Today it's more of fun, but it's a matter of time before it becomes integral part of what we do. I'll be here. I know it's already late, so if you have any questions, I'll take it up.
Shivanas,
Yes.
All this will come from a power industry.
Yes.
So from where the power will come to support your racks, AI, data centers?
So you're hoping you'll give a solution for that.
I was reading on one day, it's going to be something 40 tagawatt.
Correct.
Something you can't imagine.
Yeah.
That what we need by 2030 that power. And second challenge is which heat will be generated by these data centers is going to be a good challenge.
Yeah. And I think
the water consumption or the cooling system is going to take away. I don't know how we are going to account for this power and cooling system and how to develop it. Because how India is ready for that by 2030.
No, I completely agree. So that's why whenever I've been talking to the governments or different departments, I keep telling them, watch out of what you're asking. You'll get it. You'll definitely get it. But at the same time, the first goal of any power corporation company is to make sure that the public gets the power, right? And the industry gets the power. The first line of industry which is needed for the country gets the required power. And then of course the infrastructure and other things. So the future compute and other things which is required. So people are working on alternate energy solutions for the power, but it's not enough. It's just like 2% of what the industry wants. So that's a big challenge. The second challenge, of course, is the coolant. The only solution here is to make sure that it consumes less power. not trying to give more power to the system, but trying to see how best we can look at reducing the power consumption itself. In one of the conferences I went, I saw a company which is actually working on coolant within the chip itself. The liquid coolant within the chip, within the board, not dipping it in the coolant which we have seen. We have seen data centers being immersed in sea right now, because that's one way to reduce power. But again, it's not enough. These are all single-step processes which I feel, but I think there's a lot of innovation which is going to happen in terms of reduction of power and also managing alternate power more effectively. I think that's the biggest challenge we have. I completely agree with you.
And the utilization also. That how much effectively we are using that.
Correct.
Maybe there is a hardly usage is 40%.
Right.
60% is just junk.
Yeah, and in fact, one of the companies I'm working with right now on the inference side, what they're saying is you don't need everything you do. You don't need the inference to go to the cloud. Can we do the inference within the system itself? So every village, for example, will have computers. Can I connect it to the computers, local computers, and create a LAN and do the inference within that whole system? So you will see more and more of that happening. Your phone compute is being wasted when you're not using it. Just imagine I have a protocol which connects to all our phones here, and I run a small job and the inference happens. And it is using the compute of all our phones. Collectively we are sharing the compute. That might be the next future. So you will see more and more usage of CPUs and the processor within your phone, which will be used for inference than going to the cloud every time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So, thank you for a very insightful address. I know that we all have a lot to discuss and interact with Dr. Shivananda. Since we are getting delayed, we can interact Dr. Shivananda during tea break and lunch break also. And we can move towards next program. It is my privilege to announce that our chief guest, Dr. Vilas Sode, Executive Director HR, HPCL, has already arrived. We shall now formally begin the inaugural ceremony of this conclave. And again, I take this opportunity to welcome again all our distinguished guests who joined after the keynote sessions, esteemed dignitaries, deans, faculty members, students, and participants to this conclave. May I respectfully invite our chief guest, Dr. Vilas Sode, Executive Director HR, Dr. Shivananda Arkoteshwar, Professor Anish Kumar Sachdeva, Registrar Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, NIT Jalandhar, Professor Mamta Khosla, former Dean, Industry and International Affairs, all deans and head training and placement, NITJ, to kindly come forward for the ceremonial lamp lighting before Goddess Saraswati, marking the auspicious beginning of this conclave. Sir.
जाड्यान्धकारापहा हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्.
Thank you to our esteemed dignitaries for the ceremonial lamp lighting, symbolizing knowledge, wisdom, innovation, and collaborative progress. To begin the session, we would like to warmly welcome and honor our esteemed speakers with bouquet and the traditional Punjabi fulkari as a token of our respect and gratitude. May I request Professor S.K. Sinha, Dean, Faculty Welfare, Professor Anish Sachdeva and Professor Mamta Khosla to kindly join us on this stage to welcome dignitaries. Ma'am, please request to kindly felicitate Dr. Bilal Sode, Executive Director, HR, HPCM. Please extend a warm welcome to our chief guest.
Hi, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Shivananda R. Koteshwar, Senior Vice President and Managing Director, India Site Astra Labs.
Hi, sir. Hi.
Mr. Sudhir Kera, Director
Sir.
Operations, IEC Power Limited.
Hi. No, sir.
Mr. P. Yadav, Head India Innovation Ecosystem, NXP Semiconductors, India.
Hi, sir. Sir, madam. Thank you.
Mr. P. Yadav.
Hi.
Mr. Soumen Bhattacharya, Engineering Director and Site Leader, Intel.
Hi, sir. Please, sir. Sir. Madam, sir. Thank you. Hi, sir.
Professor Santosh Kumar Vishwakarma, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Institute of Good Governance and Policy Analysis, and Professor IIT Indore.
हाँ जी मैडम प्लीज सामने.
Thank you, sir.
Please,
I
sir.
now invite Professor
Yes,
Subhash
madam.
Chandra, Dean Planning and Development,
Sir,
NIT
please.
Jalandhar, to kindly welcome and felicitate our distinguished speakers. I request Registrar and Professor Mamta Khosla ma'am to kindly accompany Professor Subhash Chandra. Mr. Sankalp Singh, University Program Manager at Synopsys, India.
Thank you.
Ms. Ashu Gupta, Director, Functional Safety, NXT
Madam, please.
Semiconductors, India.
Thank you.
Ms. Ashu Gupta.
She is an alumnus of this institute. We are proud to say that.
Ms. Ashu is also our alumnus.
Please,
Mr.
madam.
Ravinder Singh Jassal, Principal Scientist, CSIR, CSIO, Chandigarh. He will be joining us after this session. Mr. Lupinder Kumar, Department of Soil and Water Conservation, Punjab. He will also join. Shri Rajiv Bihani, Senior Vice President, Vardhaman Textiles. Dr. Nimai Chandre, Head Fiber and Plant Innovation, Trident Group, India.
Hi, sir. Sir, please, sir. Thank you.
I now invite Professor Sharleen Vajpayee, Dean and Student Welfare, NIT Jalandhar, to kindly accompany Registrar NIT Jalandhar and Professor Mamta Khosla to welcome and felicitate our speakers. Mr. Gaurav Sangwan, Zonal Manager, Aditya Birla Group.
Hi, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Manmohan Singh, Chief Operating Officer,
Please, sir.
ADK
Sir.
Instruments.
Thank you.
Mr. Manmohan Singh, Chief Operating Officer, ADK Instruments.
थोड़ा ऊँचा।
Mr. Rajiv Patia, Chief Technical
Hi, sir.
Director,
Sir,
ADK
please, sir.
Instruments.
Okay. Hi, sir.
Dr. Amolya K. Panda, Associate Director, Panacea Biotech Limited.
हाँ जी मैडम please,
Mr.
sir.
Piyush
Madam,
Parke, Director, Techno Commercial, Trinity International.
Thank you.
Mr. Piyush Parke, Director, Techno Commercial, Trinity International. Please extend a warm welcome to our speakers. Welcome our speakers.
हाँ जी मैडम प्लीज सर.
Mr. Imran Ahmed, Head Design Section. Mr. Sehul Shah, DGM Schneider Electric. Thank you, sir. I now invite Professor Vinay Kumar Mida, Head Center for Training and Placement, NIT Jalandhar, to kindly welcome and felicitate our distinguished guests and speakers. Mr. Piyush D. UK, Co-founder, OSA Plus Simulations.
हाँ सर. Thank you.
Dr. Prashant M. Nayak, Co-founder, OSA Plus Simulations. Dr. C.S. Yadav, Scientist C, DST, Government of India. He will also join in after this. Mr. Ashutosh Wadhwa, CEO, Rajans International. Mr. P.K. Verma, Director in Charge, Central Institute of Hand Tools, Jalandhar.
Hi, sir.
Mr. Rajesh Agarwal, President Operations, Sharp Chucks and Machines Limited. He will be also joining after lunch. Mr. Japesh Chandra, DGM Corporate, Dras Engineering Private Limited, Sonalika Group. Okay. Mr. Rajnikant Pagadar, Head R&D, Rhino Machines Limited.
हाँ सर एक मिनट प्लीज हाँ जी मैडम सामने
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Japesh Chandra, DGM Corporate, Dras Engineering Private Limited, Sonalika Group.
हाँ सर
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. We now move towards the formal addresses of the inaugural Industry and International Affairs and Executive Chair, Industry Academia Conclave 2026, to present an overview of this conclave and highlight the objectives and vision of this important initiative. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to all our distinguished guests, industry leaders, policymakers, academicians, researchers, innovators, entrepreneurs, students and participants joining us for this Industry Academia Conclave today. It is my privilege to welcome you all on behalf of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar National Institute of Technology, Jalandhar. As the Executive General Chair of this conclave, I would like to briefly share the vision behind organizing this event. Industry Academia collaboration has been a topic of discussion for decades. Yet, despite the intent on both sides, meaningful and sustained collaboration remains a challenge. When we look at countries such as Germany, Japan, China, we find strong partnerships where universities and industries work together to solve real-world problems, develop technologies and drive economic growth. The question before us is, how can we create similar ecosystems in India? The second concern is equally important. As academic institutions, we continuously revise our curricula, seek inputs from industry experts and our alumni, introduce emerging technologies, provide access to modern tools. Yet, there is often a perception that graduates still require significant training before becoming industry ready. This suggests that preparing students for the future requires much more than curriculum updates. It requires continuous engagement between academia and industry through internships, live projects, joint research, innovation, entrepreneurship, and technology development. This conclave has been conceived as a platform to bridge these gaps. Our objective is not merely to discuss collaboration, but to identify actionable pathways that can lead to stronger partnerships, industry-relevant education, impactful research, and innovation-driven growth. At NIT Jalandhar, we believe that academia and industry are not two separate entities. They are partners in nation building. The challenges of the future can be addressed only when knowledge creation and practical implementation work together. I express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Director, Professor Vinod Kumar Kanodia ji, for his visionary leadership and support, and to our Registrar, Professor Anish Sachdeva, for continuous support. I would like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to all our distinguished keynote speakers, panelists, industry leaders, representatives from PSUs, government ministries, funding agencies and partner organizations who have graciously accepted our invitation and joined us today despite their busy schedules. Your participation reflects a shared commitment towards strengthening the industry academia ecosystem, and it is your presence that gives this conclave its true significance. I thank all the members of the organizing committee, staff, students, volunteers, sponsors, industry partners and participants whose efforts have made this event possible. And with these words, I warmly welcome you all once again to this conclave and wish you all a productive and meaningful networking and collaborations that create lasting impact. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I would like to invite Professor Anis Sachdeva, Registrar Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, NIT Jalandhar, to deliver the Director's message and share the Institute's vision towards strengthening academia-industry collaboration. So,
Honorable Chief Guest Dr. Vilas Jode and Guest of Honor Dr. Shivanandaji, distinguished industry leaders, faculty colleagues, students and participants. A very welcome to all of you to the Industry Academia Conclave at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar National Institute of Technology, Jalandhar. It's my privilege to deliver the address of our Honorable Director, Professor B.K. Kanodia, before this distinguished gathering, as he is unable to join us today due to his commitment to attend an important parliamentary meeting at Srinagar. He would have greatly appreciated being present for this occasion, but due to his compelling official commitments, he could not attend this conclave. The Director extends warm greetings and best wishes to all the distinguished guests and participants and sincerely wishes for the success of the program. Higher educational institutes are no longer viewed merely as centers of teaching and learning. They are expected to be the engines of innovation, technological development, entrepreneurship and societal transformation. Equally, industry today seeks not only skilled manpower, but research partners who can address emerging technological challenges, sharpen competitiveness, and accelerate the pace of innovation. So in short, the lines between the campus and the corporation are blurring, and rightly so. Over the years, NIT Jalandhar has established itself as one of the leading National Institute of Technology in the country. Our faculty members are actively engaged in high-impact research across engineering, science, management, and interdisciplinary domains with significant support from agencies such as ANRF, DRDO, ISRO, MIT, CSIR, ISMR, AICT, and various ministries of the Government of India. In the financial year 2024-25 alone, the Institute attracted rupees 55.22 crore of sanctioned sponsored research funding across 88 new projects. A clear reflection of the trust the national research ecosystem places in our faculty. Our work today spans artificial intelligence, advanced manufacturing, renewable energy, smart infrastructure, biotechnology, healthcare technologies, material science, cybersecurity, and sustainable development. And yet we recognize that the true value of research lies not in publications or in laboratory demonstrations alone, but in its ability to solve real-world problems. So with this in mind, the Institute has built a vibrant innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem to ensure that research does not stop at the laboratory bench. We host 6 dedicated innovation hubs: the Technology Business Incubator, the ISRO Space Technology Incubation Center, the Institute Innovation Council, the Entrepreneurship Cell, the Science and Technology Innovation Hub, and the Institute Instrumentation Centers. Alongside 6 centers of research in artificial intelligence, energy and environment, sports and healthcare, liability improvement, 5G and beyond, and cybersecurity. Through these platforms, 22 startups have already been incorporated on our campus. Several of them spun directly out of the faculty research and student innovation, and the institute has formalized 22 industry MOUs and 18 international MOUs to translate research into impact and to extend our global footprint. Our alumni have excelled across diverse fields including industry, entrepreneurship, research, public service, education, technology, and they are making significant contributions nationally and globally. Their success stories inspire our current students and also reinforce the Institute's determination to develop future relevant ethical professionals. The gap between laboratory innovation and industrial applications remains one of the most important challenges before us. Too many promising technologies work within the academic institutions do not reach the market, and while industry often face technical problems and that academic expertise is uniquely positioned to solve. So bridging this gap is not a one-time event, it requires sustained dialogue, mutual trust and collaborative efforts. So it is intended to be a platform where our researchers can directly understand the problems industry is grappling with and where industry leaders can discover firsthand the capabilities, expertise, infrastructure available within the institute. We hope that the deliberations over the coming sessions will open up the meaningful conversations on emerging technologies, collaborative R&D, consultancy, research projects, product development, technology transfer, and startup support. The NEP 2020 has strongly emphasized multidisciplinary education, innovation, entrepreneurship, and industry engagement. The vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 calls upon the institutions like ours to become active contributors to technological advancements and economic growth. These are not the goals that academia or industry can achieve in isolation. They ask us to work not as separate entities, but as a partners in common mission. So on behalf of our Director NIT Jalandhar, I extend my sincere gratitude to all our industry partners, invited experts, speakers, alumni, faculty members, researchers and students for being part of this important initiative. We also place on record the appreciation for the organizing team whose hard work has made today possible. So I wish the Industry Academia Conclave 2026 great success, and I look forward to the actionable outcomes, the joint projects and the lasting partnerships that I am certain will emerge from the deliberations of our coming sessions. Thank you for your presence and participation. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. We shall now proceed with the address by our esteemed Chief Guest, Dr. Lila Zole, Executive. Business Administration, Master of Industrial Relations and Personal Management at a PhD from the Faculty of Commerce. He has held several key strategic and leadership positions across various domains, including operations, maintenance, manufacturing, and human resources. His outstanding contributions have been recognized through several prestigious awards, including the Emerging Leader of the Year Award 2011-12 and the PSU Award 2024 in the category of HR Excellence. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Dr. Vilas today and looking forward for your talk. I request Professor Vinay Miller, Head Training and Placement, to kindly chair the session. Sir, that's it.
Good morning, everyone. I was told that I am supposed to speak on Industry 4.0 sustainability and of course, industry academia collaboration. So I made that point accordingly. Distinguished directors, esteemed faculty members, industry leaders, researchers, scientists, students, most important people, participating people over here, they are students of this college, who are the future of the country. Good morning to all of you. I am very happy that I am going to talk something about the sustainability on this today's World Environment Day. So that's a big occasion, I thought, and because our company is also taking all major steps towards the sustainability. So I thought let me talk a little about our industry, our energy sector, Hindustan Petroleum in particular, and what is that we are doing in the space of sustainability. First of all, let me congratulate and thank you, NIT Jalandhar, for having invited me here as a speaker, and I really feel honored about it. And of course, I like to connect with the people because we think that they are our, they are the people who are going to build the companies, they are going to build the nation. So they are the most important people, and I always wanted to connect with them directly. I am not very sure whether this is your ongoing academic session or not, but the kind of students and attendance over here, I am very happy to see that. Whatever speakers during these 2 days conclave speak, I think each and every student must attend to it very carefully, because this is going to give an overview of what is happening in the industry. And some speaker has rightly said that yes, in India probably the academy and the industry connection is not to the extent what it is supposed to be. So these are the platforms, these are the kind of platforms which give opportunities for the students to interact with the industry, to try to understand how different industry works and how can they apply their knowledge, theoretical knowledge which they have learned in the classroom, in the practical field in the industry. We are definitely living in one of the most complex and dynamic world today. When we talk about Industry 4.0, we all know it is about all artificial intelligence. It is a digital era. So in our company, when we talk about the petroleum product, and petroleum product is actually a molecule which goes into IC engines and many other applications, and then some physical product is produced or some energy is produced. Nowadays, in our company also we say that we move molecules using electron. The molecules are moved by, controlled and monitored by the electron. So everything, each and every process in our company, not only in our company, in other oil companies also, and for that matter any modern industry, will have automated system 100%. And I am very happy to note that India as a country and various companies included in that are on the right path, and they are really having this Industry 4.0. Of course, we have already started talking about Industry 5.0 also. Last month I was attending a seminar at Goa in Indian Institute of Industrial Engineering. They already started out talking about the Industry 5.0, which talks more about the human angle. Because all said and done, when we hear the stories about the China, where black factories, you might have heard this terminology, where all robots are working, no electricity required, no air conditioning required, only robots are working. But is this the planet we desire? I am very sure no. Answer is no. And we have to also see the social angle, the human angle. So what Industry 5.0 is talking about, the more emphasis on the human angle, the human intelligence, because even today when we talk about artificial intelligence, it is all about some few people who have contributed, and then collectively that knowledge is available in the common platform, and that knowledge and information somebody is getting. But can AI innovate? To me, answer is no. Unless and until one individual human mind contributes to some innovative idea and comes up with some innovative ideas and contribute that on the platform, open platform which is available, there cannot be. AI and robot originally on their own, they cannot originate any idea. So kindly be mindful about that. So it is the human brain which is the most important thing, and that is going to sustain. But in the process we should not, give undue importance to the robotics only and undermine the human brain or human innovation. The innovation has to happen continuously, and that is the reason our company has also, established the R&D center, where continuous basis innovations are there. Of course, when we talk about Industry 4.0, the technology is helping us. Today, for example, in the refinery, if I have to monitor my flare emission, earlier the technology was not there. Somebody used to say with his or her tacit knowledge that, okay, this is, giving more of a carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. Now today technology can actually measure on the real-time basis. On the real-time basis, it can correct the things back-end through PLC and other systems. So that is the kind of advantages we are getting. We should definitely utilize that. And talking about Hindustan Petroleum, as I said that we take pride in saying that we move molecule monitored and controlled by electrons. So that means each and every process, right from the sourcing of the crude oil from the Gulf country or American country nowadays because of some sanctions. So right from moving crude oil from the refinery, getting it processed at the refinery, supplying it to the petrol pump, where again it is automated. Each and every molecule, each and every liter of the petrol is controlled and monitored by the automation system. And the kind of billing, even payment, everything end to end, right from sourcing of crude up to the delivery of the petrol or diesel in the vehicle of the consumer, is controlled totally automatically. And in this process, of course, we get a lot of efficiency that is there. Talking about the sustainability, our company has taken a lot of initiative, as you are aware that petroleum product being a fossil. And of course, the another important aspect is we have to import almost 85% of our crude oil, which puts a lot of load on our foreign exchange. So it is better that we, try to find out some alternative source of energy. But also then that even in today, we are using majority of the fuel is fossil fuel, be it coal, which is almost 60% of our energy basket, be it the petroleum product, which is another 30%, be it natural gas, which is of course a low carbon product, but it is still 6 to 7%. And of course, nuclear and hydro is there supporting. But the energy need of the nation is today so much growing rapidly that petroleum product also we cannot, even we talk about, lowering the carbon and reducing the uses of the petroleum product, it is not going to happen. Earlier estimates were saying that petroleum product probably by 2030 it will reach to peak and then subsequently it will get stagnated and slowly and gradually it will drop down. But for India, it is not the story. For India, story is different. We have just started. We are still 1/3 of per capita consumption of energy compared to global average. That means you can imagine how much of scope and how much of energy we need in coming future. Of course, it is because of the automation and other things. And of course, the AI consumes a lot of power, as earlier speaker has said about it. But the kind of energy need which we have, we also need to, you continue using petroleum products, because end of the day, all we need is affordable energy for running our country and for the growth of our country. If you have to see the growth, the India, progressed India by 2047 with our Honorable Prime Minister has a vision. If you have to do that, then this growth story has to continue and the petroleum story has also to be continued. And petroleum will, as per new estimates, actually it will peak and continue to grow till 2050 and probably thereafter it can drop down. Today, if you talk about electricity generation, yes, we take pride that we are having almost 30% of our electricity generation through the renewable energy. But still that 30% is almost 1/10 of what China is producing. if you really look at the energy figures across the world, not only talking about petroleum but entire energy scenario across the world and compare it with India, I think we are consuming very less. We are consuming very less of energy, not only that, various other products like petrochemical, the plastic which has a huge potential to grow. So all those things come and putting together, we need to continue depending on the fossil fuel, but at the same time our company has a greater focus on the renewable energy. We have already gone into the field of solar energy, wind energy. Today we might be producing only 250 megawatt only on renewable energy, but we have plans to reach up to 10 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2035 or 36. India has net zero target till 2070, but our company has taken a net zero target. Of course, it is only scope 1 and scope 2. Scope 3 is probably not possible. By 2040, we will be achieving a net zero target. So that is the kind of roadmap our company has taken. And I want the students of this college, of course, you may be knowing and professors know, and thanks to the support and thanks to the students, every year we take almost 10 to 12 students from your college, particularly from the instrumentation branch and sometimes from other branches also. Instrumentation, as you know, it is a backbone of Industry 4.0. Any automation, anything we talk, instrumentation is the most important thing. In our refinery, cannot run without any single instrumentation component. Each and everything, whether it is transportation of fuel by the pipeline using a SCADA system, or whether it is monitoring of the flare in the refinery, everything has got instrumentation into it. So we are very happy that NIT Jalandhar is producing instrumentation engineer, and somebody instrumentation engineer present over here, they can raise probably their hand. They have a good chance of getting picked up in our campus placements, for which we will be coming to your campus very shortly. I think I won't take much time because there are a lot of things to talk about it. I'm not very sure whether this theme which is given to me, that is sustainable technology, is relevant to this, but I think if today any engineer has to be successful, any industry has to be successful, they have to keep this theme in mind. Sustainability is extremely important, and because we believe that young engineers, they have a very good innovative mind. Academic provides them with the knowledge, and sustainability mindset, if it is developed among the students, among the young engineers, I think we are definitely going to get mileage out of it. As you are all aware that when we talk about sustainability, the prime most important thing, of course, for all of us is to save our planet. Some president of some country may say that net zero or global warming is nothing, but it is a real fact. We cannot run away. We cannot say that even if we have to acknowledge that there is an elephant in the house. So we have to address that. So sustainability has to be a major focus. And today on World Environment Day, I appeal to all of you to be mindful about this initiative, this acts, the importance of sustainability, importance of whether it is recycling, whether it is conserving water, even conserving energy also. That does not mean that we will consume less energy, we consume more energy to produce more, but we conserve energy, we avoid waste. Those kind of things, if one is developing a mindset about that, engineering is developing a mindset about that, around that, I think it is going to help the industry, it is going to help the particular company for which the engineering is working. And on the sustainability, one more thing I just wanted to mention what our company is doing is we are opening up a lot of biofuel plants, and happy to share that with the country's vision of 20% ethanol blending in the petrol, we have already achieved that this particular year. As not only Hindustan Petroleum but also other petroleum companies, we have collectively achieved this target. And also we are focusing more on generation of biodiesel, which is being used as or either a blended form, whether it is used cooking oil or whether it is some other stuff. Those kind of things also we are continuously using. I am happy to share that in this Batinda, which is there in this very state of Punjab, he is producing almost 100 KL per day of ethanol. So those kind of progressive thing of steps our company is taking. And also somebody spoke about the startup. For the startup thing, again, I am saying that in this area of sustainability, when we are talking about the compressed biogas, when we are talking about the ethanol blending plant, where the input is the agriculture mass, and I think startups can contribute hugely for this collection of aggregate agri mass is a huge challenge. As you know, even collection of waste or handling of waste is a huge challenge. I think startup may somebody can put an idea, maybe similar to something like cooperative society or something like that. If somebody can, get it together, because supply chain may startup can do tremendous things. There is a tremendous scope for improving efficiency in the supply chain. If somebody can, some startup can address this supply chain issue of the collection of agriculture waste and give it to our plants, CBG plants or ethanol plants, I think we are collectively going to achieve our goal. I don't take much time. I stop here because I think another panel discussion is also there. But I am available here till lunchtime. So anybody having any questions, they can raise now, or we can address it offline also. Thank you very much, and I wish all the best to all the students of this college, and I wish all the best to this NIT college. Thank you very much. Any questions? Is there?
Thank you, Dr. Vilas, for a very insightful presentation that has effectively highlighted the evolving relationship between academia and industry. You have very aptly touched upon some of the key points for today's conclave, Industry 4.0. With the countries working, and now Industry 5.0 which is coming in. Along with that, the sustainability and the sustainable practices which the energy sector is following. I'm thankful for such a nice presentation, and this has given a lot of perspective for our research scholars, students and the faculty members. Thank you once again, and if there are any questions, we can take a few questions from the audience.
Thank you, sir. And I just wanted to say one more thing. Actually, many of the colleges nowadays, they have started the 6 months internship projects. So I would look forward for that when we talk about industry-academic collaboration. I think this 6 months thing is an excellent thing which has come in.
We also have this 6 months.
Yeah. So we would like to, have more students coming in and coming with the industry, working at the actual projects. Because in the process they will also learn and we will also get. Because I always believe that young minds are, quite innovative.
This session actually we have started 6 months internship for the 7th semester also and for 8th semester also.
Yeah.
So we have both options available. So wherever is the requirement, you can come.
You are always welcome. It is open. Actually, we are trying to promote and trying to tell all the campuses that if they can share their students for 6 months internship project in our company. They are all welcome. We have got a special approval some around 6 months before from our management to effect for this long-term internship.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. My name is Vikash, and I'm a PhD scholar from Department of Biotechnology. And it was heartening to see that you are working on renewable energies. I myself have been working on biohydrogen field, but sometimes, as you see, a lot of academia is working on biohydrogen and renewable energy. But we see that that the research feels hollow, that it is not being implemented by the industry. And you yourself are a leading company in the renewable energy, as you yourself are saying, the compressed biogas plants that you're building. So, is there any bottleneck or strategic direction that you could give to us that in academia we could follow through so that it might be implemented in industries?
Yeah, thank you for that question, and a very nice question. See, unless and until whatever innovation or whatever R&D we do, unless and until it is commercialized, it is of no use. And every attempt, I think India is lagging behind on this particular aspect. We have good researchers, but many times we think that we feel, as an industry expert, we feel that sometimes research are remaining only on the paper. So that is why we say that in our R&D sector, actually not only getting patents is important, but also getting it commercialized is important. And that is why we are inviting students to come and do the pilot project. Whatever research they are doing, let it get implemented on pilot basis. And that is the way it has to be, and we are promoting for that. And if you are asking, I think you mentioned about the nuclear energy also. I'm not sure, I thought I heard that nuclear energy also something.
Specifically, we are working on biohydrogen, sir, not on nuclear.
Biohydrogen, okay.
So, if you're saying there's a provision for pilot plants, like what's the scheme?
There is a plant in R&D. We have a huge center at Bangalore. We are working on hydrogen cells actually, because today if you see, India has got only 10 hydrogen retail outlets. That is grossly insufficient. It's a matter of chicken or egg. Yes, definitely what should come first. Of course, technology is also evolving. Today the hydrogen probably is not an affordable fuel. But going forward, tomorrow hydrogen definitely is going to come in the picture. And as the technology advances, as the technology development happens, it is going to be much more cheaper and safer to also to handle. Because today, if you have to handle hydrogen, you require almost 700 psi pressure there. And of course, as I said, that it is chicken and egg story. But hydrogen is the future, and that is because it is a renewable source of energy. It has a bright future, I think. But definitely R&D scientists need to work more on that, work on more of the pilot projects, and then try to scale it up. And again, scaling it up, when we talk about scaling it up, the industry only can help. So ideas will come from the students, from the researchers, from the scientists, but scaling it up will happen only at the industry. So collectively we can do better things, bigger things. That's all I would say. Thank you.
Any other question? In Cambridge, we can interact during the lunch session and the night session.
I have a small question, sir. Actually, my name is Venkatesh Kumar, pursuing PhD in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and I am looking for the alternative fuels. My question is that in the IC engine currently looking for the hydrogen, and you have said earlier, and right now I have studied a few papers related to the ammonia, sir. So is the automotive sector will be both beyond the ammonia also as well as, so my question is that.
Yeah, right now research is going on in our own R&D center on ammonia also.
Thank you, sir. And one another question, sir. What will the next future fuels maybe go beyond, because sir, you are working in the Hindustan Petroleum. So I would like to, what will the next liquid fuels have to go beyond in this domain, sir?
Liquid fuel, I don't think any is going to get invented now, at least not in petroleum. But yes, methane is there, ammonia is there, hydrogen definitely is there.
Okay, thank you so much.
And of course, those EVs we talk, then how much of EVs actually are environmental friendly, that also we need to look at. Unless and until we generate power through renewable sources, I mean, you are not creating a pollution on the road, but you are creating pollution at the power plant sector if you are firing it with coal. So, bigger question, it's a wide subject, we can talk entire day, but thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful address. I think students can interact with Dr. Zole during the tea break. Now we shall break for a group photograph outside this venue, followed by quick high tea of 15 minutes. The high tea has been arranged on ground floor and first floor. Students are kindly requested to join the arrangements on the first floor. We will assemble back at the same venue after 15 minutes for panel discussion. Let's join for group photograph first. Please reach just outside the building for group photograph.
ये कटवाना है
get up.
Here the question is what you have said. We are still into a transformation stage. We have not actually reached somewhere. My question is that why so many engineering colleges have been opened? Suddenly, when we graduated, there were 3 colleges in Punjab. And suddenly there are now, I think, something 150 colleges plus in the Punjab. So government thought it's to push it to small and medium scale industry. So that SMEs should be pushed on and they should get the engineers. But the result has not taken place. The result is that all those engineers are still want to go to IT or Canada or wherever it is. So whichever transformation we were thinking for SMEs today, medium and small scale industry, it's not happening. They all have a diploma holders. They don't have BTech. This is the irony of the situation. So what exactly, madam and friend? We are thinking for smart grids, we are thinking for smart buildings. I was listening some technology that is a twin technology, digital twin technology. So to copy into our industry. But where is the real talent which will at least understand the infrastructure, core infrastructure? When I'm talking about this building, when I'm talking about power, even in your own institute, talking about energy, are we understanding those terms? Then only we can think of transforming from infrastructure to this thing. Today the China has shifted to dark factories. So that is industry 5.0. So they have reached to that level. So we are not even, you go and see our industry. Have anybody seen the industry which is even in Jalandhar, local industry? And we are having so many engineering colleges. We are not able to transform the existing to automation. That is industry, what Sir has said, industry 1.0, industry 2.0. In fact, the basic SMEs have not reached to industry 2.0. So, and what is the SMEs growth today? SMEs is part of 40% of our GDP. हम टेलीविजन नहीं बना पाए आज तक. कौन सा टेलीविजन का ब्रांड है इंडिया में, बताइए. कार भी हम ढंग की नहीं बना पाए. एक कंपनी है जो इंडियन कार बनाती है, एक होंगी या 2 होंगी. Still we prefer the imported brand, still we prefer the imported machinery. Washing machine that we prefer imported. So what we are talking about infrastructure, these all sitting are the stakeholders. So we have to take this pledge. See, okay, we have to transform to intelligent, smart grid, smart building, twin, dark factory. But first is the process of developing these young engineers to understand the domains, which is very important.
Thank you so much. Mr. Yadav, your views on this?
Yeah, so we were discussing the same topic this morning as we were sitting, and I gave the example. There used to be a Texas TV about 2 decades back, and that disappeared. And where we are in terms of our own Panasonic, our own Sonys of India, but it's not only the government and it's not only the SMEs. The whole ecosystem has to work together. I'll give you a quick example, and I don't know how true this is, but I read somewhere that Japanese, they used to study always in a pair of two students together. One guy is writing and the other guy is busy sharpening the other pencil. Because the lead would broke off. Because whatever Japanese pencils they were developing in those days were of not good quality. But they took the pledge that they are not going to buy any XYZ country's pencil. Okay, so they will work in a pair of 2, but they will still buy a Japanese product, so that gradually that market grows. Okay, and same is happening. There was a huge push on the toys front. They were made in India toys, but those were not competitive enough than what you get from other neighboring countries. Even if you get, the cost is more. But whenever you start, cost is going to, your bill of material is going to be on a higher end, but gradually you will see the whole ecosystem, all suppliers getting into the local lands, and then the cost would gradually come down. So we have to spot that time frame from the production to actual good yield of the product so that it becomes a viable economical thing for the given country. And for that, certainly government has to help, but at the end consumer has to, again be supportive of those products. So it is not only an individual, it is the whole ecosystem. Let's take an example of, fab for semiconductors. So we started these fabs, and for you to make it easy, I'll give you an example of Maruti in Gurgaon, because I stay in Gurgaon. So if you see, Maruti is an assembly shop. In this factory, they produce a final product, which is a car, but they have thousands of other suppliers in the vicinity who are giving them the whole of the raw materials or all of these components. So similarly, in terms of fabs, now we are setting up these factories, but if all of the raw material has to come from outside India, then gradually one day one flight might get delayed and you will stuck. Because if you see with this inventory system, in good factory shops, they keep inventory of few hours or maybe a day or two. They can't keep inventory for a month. So that ecosystem has to evolve. And at the beginning of that ecosystem evolvement, government has to stand in, and that's what is happening with all of the push by Semiconductor India mission. But at the end, if we as a consumer, we decide that, okay, we are not going to buy something which is manufactured in India, that's going to cost our pocket initially. Maybe we'll have a tough time like the Japanese pens example I said, but gradually that will indirectly give a support or a push toward domestic brands. If we start only producing our own television and washing machines, for example, there's a big market to cater. Why we are giving this whole dollars to someone else? So one has to each individual has to be responsible here in this time and be part of the ecosystem. And how we could be this part of the ecosystem, all the good research work which we are doing here in academia can be to a product-oriented research. Ultimately, if you get a PhD scholar, this scholar has to solve a problem statement. Can that problem statement be part of a product? Any single PhD starting say 1st of July in this institute, make sure that is solving a product issue. Now the question would come, this product has 10 different components and it will take years for us to finish it off. Okay, why don't you do one thing, take first one, give me the first part of it, give this second part of it to the other student. I was told that your director is now a co-chair for Srinagar and can you guys split between these two institutes? So that if not now, 5 years down the line, you will have a good economical solution of all these 10 components. You yourself can contribute to these, having Indian-based products. So this has to be, everyone has to take a step forward. And at the end, the way we are measuring is 2 or 3 innovation publications in India. That's not a mandate if you go out of India. So can we say that at the end of it, if you are able to solve 1% of a product solution, you will know you got it a PhD. So this shift has to come from each one of us.
So, the question that came to my mind after hearing Mr. Yadav is one that how do we make the consumer buy an Indian product? That's the big question, and it needs some inputs from people. Actually, you were quite positive that you gave your talk that we are moving towards transformation, big transformation in various areas. So, how would you assess what Mr. Yadav has already pointed out?
Yeah, that's a $1 million question, and thanks for that. I think it is a mindset. We as a Indian, we do not have a mindset to ensure the best of the quality. We focus on production numbers, not on the quality. That is one difference we use for countries. Second is, of course, the government policy, because all said and done, we should have been there in manufacturing also, leader. But we are not there in manufacturing, we are there in services. But my question to parents also, to students also. Today engineers don't want to work in field, they don't want to stand in sun and the rains. And they only want to sit in front of laptop and do something. That is great. Technology is helping them. But this is one of the reasons that most of the SMEs or even factories, the engineers, they don't want to really work on the shop floor. They don't want to make their hands dirty, and that is why we have to hire some diploma engineers, sometimes IT also. So that comes from mindset, in my opinion. We have to change our mindset. One is to focus on the quality. Second is to do not shy away from the bread and butter, the physical thing, the brick and mortar industry. That is another thing. Government as a policy, they need to focus more on the manufacturing, because there is a tremendous scope. Today we are not able to compete price-wise with countries like China and South Korea. But if we really focus on that, if government ecosystem is supporting by way of taxes, by way of incentivizing the industry, I think India can become a big production hub. And today what we are talking, that we don't have 100% of indigenous product. But Make in India is one of the initiatives which our Honorable Prime Minister has started. I think it needs a greater push on that Make in India. The things will move. There is a tremendous potential. If you take any commodity, any product, we are, per capita consumption, we are lower than the global average. If we have to call ourselves as a developed country, we need to at least be at the global average. So there is a tremendous scope. People are, that is how economy works. So people have to generate more. They are generating more money. They will spend more money. More money will come. Government is moving in the right direction in my view, because a lot of infrastructure is coming up. A lot of they are trying to incentivize the startups. Those things has to accelerate more. We need to do more on that. But at the same time, Indian mindset, that why people, there are still very few people who really want to start a startup. And they want to do किसी का नौकरी करना है बस. Why? They can start their own business. They can have their own startup. Their brilliant minds are there. I am again repeating. Young minds are quite innovative. Only thing they are lacking, that they should shy away. They should not think कि मुझे laptop में ही काम करना है, something like that. We should be focusing more on manufacturing. I think as a country we have huge potential and definitely.
Thank you. So continuing, we are moving to the academia now. Professor Conclave is there. So you can add to what the panelists have said. In addition to that, I would also like to ask you, how is the academia actually bridging the gap between the real industry deployment and the AI research, since you are heading the Center of Artificial Intelligence here?
Monica, I'll be sidelining your question, and I'll try to leave AI away in the conversation, because everyone is talking about AI, and AI is transforming a lot of things and very quickly. Like he said, the most important thing is, and Sudhir also raised that question, that although a lot of engineers are there, technology is available, but engineers, they don't want to work at that level where a real change can happen. Like he referred to the MSMEs, where you still find technicians are working, they are driving everything. So that's why the technology adoption is very good. So that's why we are not able to compete with other countries. Then he talked about the product development. He also mentioned about the change in mindset. Although we are sitting in a higher education institute, but this change in mindset is required at every level, in schools also. If you look at our school, because entry to all premier institutions are happening through JEE. So that's why schools, they have discarded every experimentation. They are not investing. So that's why our students are very poor in hands-on. They cannot conceptualize any new product, because their entire focus is not on innovation, but just getting good grades, getting good ranks, and enter into the engineering institute. And this mindset somehow it travels a long way. So that's why you find in the engineering colleges, even they don't know how to pick up a screwdriver. So that mindset, like you said, that mindset is missing, that curiosity is missing. So that's why we are lagging behind. And the same mindset, it stays in the higher education industry also. Like, you talked about PhD. So our PhD work is I don't know where it is landing. A lot of research paper is going on, a lot of efforts are being made, but nothing is coming out. So that means somehow, if we talk of say industry-institute interaction, so at the PhD level, somehow because this engagement is for a longer duration, what is happening? We are not having the common interest. Say for academia, so we are driven by ranking, we are driven by the research publication, we are driven by the patent. And if you look at the corporates in the industry, what they are looking for cost cutting, they are looking for product improvement, they are looking for innovation, and that in a very limited time frame. Unless and until there is a cohesiveness, unless and until there are shared interests, unless and until we are, discarding the very poor ranking system which is guiding us in the wrong direction. This is what I feel. So this is very difficult to drive this partnership because we are not having the same interest. So academia is going this way, industry is going this way. There are success stories, but they are very limited. But in case we want to reach to a level where we can compete with the developing countries, where we can have our own products, so the way forward is going to be a change in the mindset is required. Our efforts have to be very focused. It has to be on the product development, and somehow it should start from the school level itself. So we need to revise our curriculum. We need to invest in the school infrastructure. So we need to have a STEM education is to be promoted in a big way. And obviously, AI is the enabler these days. So I think AI falls in the same span also. Again, in the AI, again, we are the followers, we are not the leaders. This is my take on it.
Okay, thank you. I want to add to that. I'll give you one instance when I went for my first international conference outside the country. So the work I presented there, people were of the view that if you would have taken in the help of the industry in your work, this would have led to something new. So I had to tell them that I had approached many industries, but nobody was ready to put in the required effort or give me that infrastructure so that I could work on it properly and bring out things. Still, they appreciated the idea, and after a few years, I saw that I was working on compression bandages. I saw that the same concept has been used and the bandage has been developed by the same institute with the help of a medical company. So that's what Sir was also mentioning, that there's a certain gap between the academia or a miscommunication, or I don't know how to put it. So if anybody could just speak on this.
See, ma'am, it's very interesting that I also get the training and placement letter. It's a very small example. Training and placement letter is fit for all. For electrical industry, mechanical industry, AI. My area is this. My students are this. My placement is this. My PhDs are this. How I am interested in this? I am not interested. He is interested more for chemical. He is more interested for electronics, for semiconductor. I am more interested for power. Just write 2 lines. My students can make this power presentation, this power. They can have the single line diagrams. They can use the power system analysis. 2 lines. I will just call you, ma'am, I am coming to your campus. But the problem is that letter is fit for all. So but the problem again, how you will do it. How you will do it. As institute, you have to go to the industry. Sir, आपको चाहिए क्या? अभी सर ने आपको बोला quality. What is quality? Quality is not a product quality. In engineering colleges, it is misunderstood. Optional है. Industry वाले पढ़ेंगे, mechanical वाले पढ़ेंगे, production वाले पढ़ेंगे. इनको नहीं चाहिए. Software को नहीं चाहिए. Marketing को नहीं चाहिए. अरे quality is a perception. I have come to you. You have served me well. This is also a quality. Quality is not something which is called product has to produce. So quality is essential element all engineers should study. Basically, I always ask, who is engineer? Who has to solve the problem? Is engineer. Who's mechanical, electrical, civil? These we all make it. That's okay. But if I am an engineer, you have given me a problem of AI, being an electrical engineer, madam has given me a topic of intelligence, infrastructure to intelligence. So I have to study AI now. I am an engineer, I can study that. So are we making our students enabler for that? You are an engineer first. You are not a IT and all. And then second is, whosoever domain branches are sitting there, there is a big future other than IT. There is a huge scarcity, even in a bigger industry. I am not saying MSME, but a bigger industry. बाकी तो 3 idiots वाली बात है कि काबिलियत ही चलेगी, बाकी तो फिर जक्की मारने वाली बात है. काबिलियत अगर आपकी इलेक्ट्रिकल में भी है, you will earn much better than a software engineer. But if your skill is not there in software, then you may earn less than electrical engineer. So this is what my takeaway with all of you.
Mr. Yadav, you can add to that. In addition, I have a specific question for you. That is regarding what does India's innovation ecosystem need in terms of academia, startup and young engineers to actually bridge the industry academia gap?
So this industry academia gap is something I would say was there 25-30 years back when I used to be student. So I was sitting on the other side of this and still listening, and fast forward 2.5-3 decades, we're still talking about this gap. So I don't know how big or how deep this gap is. It's not bridged in last 3 decades. And we're still talking about it. I feel, all the three part of it. First, let's start with academia. I think first of all, you need to teach what is being done in the industry. Your curriculum has to be, the best of the present technology. But now technology is so rapidly changing, it is happening in days and weeks and months rather than years. It's not the case. But can you bring in the foundation so that these, whatsoever your products are students, these engineers, they are capable enough of, adopting to these new technologies. Like when I did my bachelor's, even Verilog was not part of my curriculum. I never heard about the term FinFET. And we ended up doing the world's first 5 nanometer FinFET product at our company. Because we are in a knowledge-based industry, and if we don't keep on upgrading ourselves, sooner or later we'll go. The first is that curriculum part of it. Second comes the faculty. So FTP is a very common term. It's happening in every institute, I would say. Throughout the year, one or other FTP workshop is happening. Either you are organizing or you are attending. So you hire a good BTech, MTech, PhD scholar, and this guy becomes a faculty. And now you expect this faculty to produce at least a batch of 60 engineers every year. Okay? But this particular faculty never saw industry a single day. You don't know how this industry looks like, how they work. And you expect them to produce an engineer who is industry ready. How that's possible? A typical Hindi speaking guy, if you ask them to produce a Telugu qualified language, you can't do it because this guy never been to that particular part of it. And if you see FTP, with all due respect to all these academics, I'm part of many of the board of studies. In FTP, you will see 80 to 90% of these talks are being delivered by the faculties. I'm part of one of the NIT's board of studies. I won't name that NIT name. In the BUS, they gave me about 200 list of 200 examination experts. They said, sir, ये MTech के examinations के लिए इनसे randomly will pick up someone. And there was not a single industry guy in that. So you expect 100% your external examiners are from academics, and you want them to examine them for a student who would be industry ready. Is that possible? So we have done any crime. Why we are not part of your board of studies? Why you are not asking me to deliver a lecture which is on the latest trends of industry? There are things done like professor of practice and a few of those, but those are still not at a level which one should be So I think those are the parts from the academic side we need to take care, and product-oriented research I already talked about. Now shifting gears to students. So I feel first we need to teach these guys that, learn, unlearn and relearn. Because whatsoever I learned in engineering, I have to unlearn it and then relearn all the latest technology. That's why I am surviving for the last 2 decades now, and probably another 2 decades. The other thing which is irrespective of electronics, computer science, chemical, mechanical is the right attitude and right attitude. If you have these 2 skills, even you ask me, PMBBS, I can, study that and crack that exam in a year or 2. If I have that, mindset in me. And he used the word curiosity. That's something I really is favorite, because as a faculty, you need to make the student curious about the subject. Then this guy would be interested to come to your class to learn. You need not to ask for, why there is no attendance, because they are not curious about the subject. And how you bring that curiosity is something you correlate your subject or topic, that how this particular theory part is, getting implemented in a product, or correlate with example of something. Let's assume I'm talking about something related to mobiles. As a country, we lost the first generation of mobile phones. First generation of communication, the landline phones. We were never able to make it to every nook and corner, and we are getting this mobile one very well. But why that is happening so? Why we have so many of IoT use models in these cases these days? Why not it was earlier? Anyone in the room can think of why it's happening now? I will not waste time. We are already short of time, because first thing is a good connectivity. However, devices are not smarter enough or intelligent enough, is good connectivity, and the most important part of it is a cheap connectivity everyone can afford. I used to pay about 12 rupees a minute to receive a mobile call about 25 years back. And I used to think twice, should I pick up this call or not, because 12 rupees are gone. So now you have a good connectivity, affordable connectivity and seamless connectivity throughout the country and the world, and that's the reason why we have so much of IoT examples coming up. If you make them curious, giving such kind of case studies or correlation, probably they'll be more curious to learn about this subject. Ultimately, one of the last things I would like to put up would be on the startup front. That's very crucial, and most of these startups they can be born out of your academic institutions. And how that can be done, because I come across many startups, especially from the academia. That's a product ban gaya, we say kaise bete. And I asked them, did you come to me when you were developing this product? Why you did that? I did BTech, MTech and PhD, then postdoc in this domain. I'm very passionate about the domain, and that's why I made this product. But you don't know whether there is a consumer market for it or not. So if you start, developing your startups which are interrelated to something which is being sold within the vicinity of the other, then people would come and ask you for that product. Don't only follow your passion. If your passion becomes a profession, that's excellent. But if there is no market of that profession, then why you are doing it? The other thing I would like to talk about the startups is that many of the times these are really done in closed doors. They feel their idea someone will see. And by the time you come up with a product from your idea, the market has shifted. Because they never discuss what they are developing, and now they have a product in hand, but the market has gone somewhere else. Because market comes in pockets. If your technology or product is ready before the actual market, there are no adopters. And if you come later, someone else has still the market. Some I don't need the country, they'll come and have a cheaper product already in the market. They need to talk more and more about their things. Certainly you don't give your secret sauce to anyone, but you need to be aware about what's happening latest in the technical world. Sorry for the long answer, I'll rest here. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. But whatever you have brought up, in continuation to that, Mr. Zod, I would seek your opinion on this. So I was talking about the curriculum not keeping pace with the change that is happening. So what is the single biggest gap you see between what campuses are producing and what your transformation agenda demands?
Yeah, again I will come to quality, and I must clarify that quality is not about the product, it is about the services, it is about the mindset. I was on board of governance one of the MBA college in Mumbai. I was deliberately not called anything, and that communication always I used to receive late after the meetings. So it is only for the sake of compliance. They are saying, okay, we have one member on board of governance. So if we have hello. So if you have this kind of mindset, I think it's not going to work. Because initially also I said that we are probably as an Indian, we are very passionate about something, achieving something and number game and all those things. But we should actually focus more on the quality aspect, that is the service aspect, that is the real. And that is one of the reasons why our so many patents are not getting converted in real commercialized product. Compared to other countries, we are having a lowest rate of conversion from patent to product. Why it is so? Because we are, probably taking pride कि patent मिल गया, चलो मेरे नाम से एक certificate आ गया, मैं credentials बन गया. That's it. But it is not the, and it should not be like that, because countries like Switzerland or US or Germany or South Korea, आप देखिए उसमें industries are sponsoring, they are giving money to the institutes, and the universities are also approaching industry. There is so much of cohesiveness, so much of coordination between the industry and academy. That is why their students are more sought after. हमारे यहाँ पे PhD नाम के लिए लेता है, उसके बाद में कुछ नहीं. There is no commercialization, nothing happening. So we should change our mindset. In my opinion, I am again coming back to the mindset. The mindset is the thing which will drive you, which will drive your product. The conversion of the patent in the commercial thing is very, very important. And in India, as I mentioned, that I don't want to bluntly blame all the universities. Some universities are good. I mean, how can we do the things कि कोई robot दूसरे country का मेरे student ने बना दिया जाके exhibition में दिखा रहा है. Those kind of things are stupidity. It is happening just because they are wanting to achieve something. Somebody is wanting to write in their HRD, they are achieving so and so numbers or something like that. Maybe. So we have to come out of that mindset. We have to really focus on there. And then I rather than request all the universities to please come to industry. What is that industry need? We all said, my colleagues have said, कि industry अलग चल रहा है, आपका theoretical knowledge अलग है. Professor has not even once visited any industry, doesn't have any knowledge. So that situation is undesirable. That situation is undesirable. If they themselves are not aware what is exactly the requirement of the industry, how can they make and change the orientation of the mindset of the students? So that's very important. That is why I was advocating, and I said it is a good thing that some of the universities have started six months internship. And I appeal and urge all the universities, not only NIT, Nalanda, please send your students to our industry. Let them work, let them understand what really is required. And because I sit in, so many interview panels also, I must have attended not more than, I think definitely more than 500 or 1,000 maybe. Students को they don't know कि उनका technical knowledge, how do they convert in the application in the practical field. So from practical field, if we ask something कि ये कैसे होता है, they are not able to apply that technical knowledge, theoretical knowledge in practical world. So I think as a university, you also need to focus on this aspect. How do you orient that kind of mindset? Teaching students about some formulas and about some technical stuff. But how do you apply that technical knowledge in the practical field or in industry? That is, I think, is missing, and we need to really collaborate more in India, particularly on these aspects.
Thank you. So, sir, I would like to add here that talking about the curriculum, recently when we revised our curriculum according to NAP 2020, we took feedback from the industry also. Each of the department, they had one person from the industry in the panel whose inputs were considered in the curriculum design. So our worthy director is actually understanding this relation of industry and academia at the highest level, and he's trying to incorporate all the points that you all have made to bring it together. So since Mr. Preet Yadav has to leave, so I have a quick question for you, sir. What is the one capability you would urge the audience who are the students here or early career professionals that will matter most in the next 5 years of India's transformation?
So, one of the mantra which I feel is applicable in these days, and that is irrespective of your branch, even you are an engineer or economics. In early days, master of one used to be the trump card to get to any job or any startup, even any industry or any business you want to do. I strongly feel these days, master of one is really good, but you should be chunk of all. You should know one subject very deeply. You should be the expert or SME for that particular domain, subject matter expert. But you should be chunk of all. You should know what is happening on your left and right. Unless you don't know, you'll be certainly outdated. Because Ma'am mentioned that 2020 you did your curricular revision. Were we really talking about physical AI that time? No. And now you are producing an engineer who's going to pass out in 2026, 7 or 28. And your syllabus don't talk about that. So, if you are master of one and jack of all, that goes to your curriculum as well, that you did some revision, but if there's something additional, you learn it. Ask for a guest lecture. I know at least IITs, this has this provision wherein you can pick up a 2-credit course for 10 hours, and that's not part of your degree. They asked us to deliver one of such programs for one of those IITs, and that program is only, and most of the times if I'm giving a lecture, I only talk about things which are not there in the textbooks. So, be master of one, jack of all, what is happening on your left and right, you will never ever be outdated.
Thank you, Mr. Yadav. And if you want, sir, you can. Yeah, fine. Views of others, analysts also on this, sir. Professor Costa, you can start.
I think the most important thing in the current scenario is the adaptation. Because earlier what used to happen, you have one skill and you can sustain for a while. But today this is not going to happen. So you know something, the requirement is different, so you have to quickly adapt yourself, relearn, and again, get into the race. That is the only way to survive, that is the only way to grow.
So, I wanted to add on that, stay curious, that is most of us are already saying that. Because whatever we learned 30 years before I learned engineering, I don't think today it is relevant. The automobile engineering which we learned, it was a mechanical engineer subject then, but now it is all electronics. So the things are changing rapidly, so one has to unlearn and relearn new things and try to adopt them. That is the key. So they have to stay curious, and that is the only key. They cannot be thinking. There are so many people who are coming in our placements also and in our company. They say that I have done mechanical engineering and all. I said that is fine. The working level, field level, you will be there for 7-8 years, 10 years. But gradually you have to move up in the ladder, in the corporate ladder. You need to manage other things. You need to understand the ecosystem. You need to understand how the world runs and how the energy sector, what is the changes happening. So they have to continuously learn new things. They have to adopt to new things, and the most importantly, because the world is changing so rapidly, so you have to be resilient enough, because uncertainty is so much today's world. So they should be ready to quickly learn, adapt, and be resilient. That is the market.
Anything you want?
The nutshell, what all panelists have said is, which I could conclude, is ability to learn. Ability to learn is missing. I'm computer engineer, how can I know GST? You are computer engineer, but what exactly Mr. Yadav has said, you are supposed to know what is happening out of the world. So ability to learn is very important. I'm coming to that. Now what is attitude? So let us discuss what is attitude. I just toss this question to everybody. What is attitude? I toss this question to everybody. What is attitude? How it is made? Attitude is nothing but this has come with three components which I have learned. One is education, second is experiences, third is environment. किसी का कोई भी attitude है, please change one.
Fourth is intention.
Fourth is?
Intention. Instead of having environment.
Yeah, intention. Sir, intention also will be.
Nothing can be converted into attitude.
Intention also will be derived from these three components. If you are in a bad environment, your intention is different. If I am sitting with a very honest person, my intention will change. If I am sitting with a dishonest person, I may be 100% honest, maybe 10% dishonesty I might do it.
But I should say that may be diverted, not changed.
Maybe, correct, absolutely. So, for second is attitude. So, environment you have to see which environment we are giving, education what we are giving, curriculum change what he said, and then third is working with the people, which we are facing a big problem. People can work with mobile but not with people. That is the biggest problem we industry is facing. मेरे को इससे काम नहीं करना है, मेरे को इससे नहीं करना है, and all that. So this is something which the students have to learn. And fourth, which I have found, and all students is very important, stability of mind, emotional. So what you are doing, if somebody is growing in front of you, he may be having a better skill than you. It is, of course, luck is there, but hardly 10%. 90% he must have done, he or she must have done more than you. So these are the four components. 5 not the least. हम कहते तो हैं but उसको apply नहीं करते. That is communication. The whole day we waste our 40% time in communication. मैंने ये कहा था, आपने ये समझा था, आपने ये समझा था, मैंने ये कहा. So 40% of the time we develop with this, and I always call is that if we deal in one of our basic concept which starts from the day. पंजाबी में तो कहते हैं कि फर्क पड़ता है, ठीक है, और हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं क्या फर्क पड़ता है, और इंग्लिश में कहता है how it matters. So actually many things matters a lot. Many things matters a lot.
So we have limited time, but one quick question before you leave. Yadavji, this is again for everybody. I want a one sentence vision from all of you. 10 years from now, what does a fully realized industry academia partnership for transformation look like in India? And what is the biggest risk that prevents us from getting there?
Simple line. You have to work like a hospital and medical college. Till the time you don't have that concept, this gap cannot. In the way second year student is going to hospital for a even the curriculum of medical college is not that papers are now from theory. No, the papers are from the real case studies, real patients what they are doing, and from the second year they have to go to the OPD and see the patients. So till the time that medical college concept is not going to come, I am very sure it will not. We can do these interactions, we can do this thing. I am sitting here, you are sitting there, and there is a bridge. You also don't want to cross, I also don't want to cross. So how it will happen? So my single liner is that till when the day we will do this, that आपके कॉलेज के अंदर एक इंडस्ट्री चलेगी, एक इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट ही चलाएगा उसको, और वो ही आपके बच्चों को ट्रेन करेगा, तब तक ये गैप नहीं खत्म होगा. फिर ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा, या your 60% faculty should be from industry. And then after that they should again go back and a new industry will come. But that's again a $1 billion question. But this what first I have said is practical. We have to create industry in the campus.
Or a 6-month training for the faculty also in the industry.
6 months. 6 months. I am extended my this thing. 6 months जो students आते हैं उनके लिए faculty नहीं आती, तो faculty कहाँ से आएगी? जो स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं उनके लिए फैसिलिटी नहीं आती.
I'll quickly wrap up, and that's what I proposed to the chairman of the ACT. I was speaking with him, and he said there is some provision, but I strongly feel the way you have the internship of students, faculty should be there as the intern, but they should come with the practical. I want to see a faculty intern, faculty who has spent 20 years in the academia to at least deliver something which is at par with the 5-year industry. That is something a bigger debate we can pick up. But I feel that in my days at least the challenge was textbooks. If you want to read a good form of a textbook, I am a Thakur alumni. We used to have 1 or 2 of those foreign edition books in our library, and that was supposed to be a good library. And I don't want to speak publicly how we got those textbooks converted to our way and we could pass out. But now with the thanks to internet and thanks to Google, that is what text is not an issue. If you want to even study something from Stanford, Berkeley, you have all those video recorded lectures available. But I feel the way we can bring in differentiation, and which is something my co-panelist mentioned, is the skill. जो हाथ से करोगे, that is the differentiation we can do. So more and more practical aspects whatsoever you are doing, and we need to teach our students how to fail. So they haven't seen these failures because they are well educated and well learned parents. They never got them into a situation where they fail, and they struggle when they come to industry because word is true. So let them fail here in your labs, and the moment they are actually in the battlefield, they are familiar with those situations. So I say skill is something where we need to focus. Tax is something which will is kind of
Thank you. So Mr. Yadav, I would like to thank you for your time and candor and your honest opinions on whatever we have discussed here. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Sir. Mr. Zod, you can give your views on this.
Yeah. I agree with Mr. Yadav when he said that even in our learning theory we said that 70-20-10 theory we call it. 70% learning happens at workplace. 20% is the self-learning which you do, and 10% only we can impart. But all said and done, thanks to all the professors of all the colleges, I don't want to undermine because we only created all these leaders today. Whatever industries, the experts are there, leaders are there, the foundation was there. But I think definitely with the coming time, other than teaching them the fundamentals of the engineering and the core subject of the engineering, they should also be relevant, stay relevant. So try to seek more connection and coordination, and we can co-create it. We can co-create it. We can sponsor some of the projects. Your PhD students or MTech students or even graduate last semester students can come to us. They can work on some projects. They will also learn, we will also gain something. So more of the coordination, and I think the government again, the governors should make it mandatory to, like Sir said, it should be like a medical college. I 100% agree with him. So out of 4 years, at least 1 year they should be doing only industry and industry meetings. Because I've seen that project also last year, whatever engineering projects they do, when they are sitting in the college and doing it. There's all, many of them are copying from here and there and doing the pasting thing, and then thanks to, of course, there are, now you also got the tools to understand whether it is, copied from something else. But all said and done, last 4-5 days or last 1 month they will do something, and then, they show the project is complete. I will again come back to same thing, mindset. ये टास्क करना है, दिखाना है, बस इतना नहीं होना चाहिए माइंडसेट. मोमेंट दैट माइंडसेट गोज एंड दैट इसमें कुछ सीखना है, कुछ क्वालिटी लाना है, कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन करना है. If that mindset comes, then automatically they will get involved in the full project, and they will really do some value addition. Just for the sake of doing something, just for the sake of it is a requirement to get the graduation degree done. They are submitting project. That's not good.
Yeah.
So from your institute side also, you should be focusing on this side.
Professor Costa, quick one, sir. The sir also has to be.
Maybe I'll try to relate what Sudhir has said and what Sir said. You talked of medical college model. I truly appreciate that because everything is hands-on. Everything is hands-on. Theory is very closely related with the practical. You actually know why you're studying this topic. And this is altogether missing in engineering. I mean, you study one topic and there's a loss of the neck. You really don't know what is the application. What I strongly feel is that quality matters. What I feel is everything will be taken care of. Quality, your understanding, your enthusiasm. If the universities think of, they should think beyond knowledge creation. They should think of wealth creation. When you talk of building solutions which are acceptable for whom they are the customer, they are takers, every aspect is taken care of. Customer requirement, then quality, industry-institute interaction, everything is taken care of. I think universities like Indian universities, especially I talk of say NIT Jalandhar or similar institutions, they should look towards, not beyond, they should look beyond knowledge creation, wealth creation, everything is taken care of.
Thank you, sir. So just summarizing what the panel has brought about in the discussion is across 4 very different sectors and 4 very different vantage points. 3 surfaced again and again. First, that the talent is the true infrastructure. No grid, no chip, no chemical plant becomes intelligent without people who can think across the boundaries of domain knowledge and digital fluency. Second, that the industry and academia relationship is still too transactional, too focused on placements and too disconnected from real research, from real industrial problems, from the patience that genuine collaborations require. And third, and perhaps the most important one, that the window to get this right is not indefinitely open. We really have to work quick. We have to be really quick. So I want to take a moment now to sincerely thank all the panelists, Dr. Zone, Professor Khosla, Professor Gera, Mr. Yadav who's already left. You did not give us safe answers, sir. You gave us honest ones, and we are going to take them in and work on them as far as possible. Each of you carries the weight of organizations, teams and ecosystem that millions of people depend on. And the fact that you are here engaging with this conversation, investing time in this kind of dialogue is itself a signal that the pathway between industry and academia can be built. And we are positive about it. To the students, the faculty and the professionals in this room, you are not passive observers of this transformation. You are its raw material and its architects at the same time. So the skills you build, the research you pursue, the industries you choose to engage, these are the decisions that will determine whether India is a consumer of intelligence or a creator of it. So the infrastructure already exists, the intelligence is being built, and the pathway, the term that I started with, that is up to us in the rooms exactly like this one. Thank you all for your attention and your presence today, and please join me to have a final round of applause for our distinguished panelists. This concludes our panel discussion, and we hope you will carry this conversation forward beyond this hall and into your work. And now I would request Mr. Gera to deliver his keynote address and thank the other panelists. Thank you very much, sir.
So good afternoon. Good afternoon. I think the lunch is being ready, but this will take 10 minutes. So let's focus for the reason we are here. My sincere request. Thank you, Professor Monica, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for one of the fraternity who has organized this conclave. And it's a wonderful arrangement, and presence is definitely there, right from fraternity and students. And it's well organized. And I also thank you with my co-panelists, where we have discussed this topic in length. But a few things which I wanted to just share, where there is a pain to all of us. Either it is a student, either it's a college or university or industry. There is a term which is known as a finishing school. This is a term which is a finishing school, goes on in West. But I say it should not be a finishing school. Actually, we are in the need of a linking school. Which school, which we are talking about, joins industry and academia together. So bridging the gap between academia and industry, building the workforce that industry needs and students deserve. Why we are meeting today? Universities are producing more graduates than ever before. Today, engineering graduates, if estimated, is 15 lakhs out of some 6,000 odd engineering colleges or universities being produced. This is ever and any time in India has produced so much engineers. But employability and employed is still a challenge. So the problem is growing between the academic output and industry readiness. जो industry को चाहिए, that is not there. You see, even any engineering college or university, 90%, more than 90% is the placement in IT industry. Where there is a gap. We are actually not utilizing the right talent of engineer to giving a software. Okay, that's fine that some people have a passion to do coding, please go ahead. Somebody has to do a passion for data, go ahead. No, the companies are paying higher than domain companies. So a chemical or a biomedical or a mechanical engineer is going into a data. No, sorry. This is where we are wrong. We as a faculty and students both have to understand that it is going to be a problem tomorrow in the society. We are into a dangerous divide. We are actually arriving in a dangerous divide, which actually you will see in your daily life. Either you go into hospital, either you go into a airport, either you go into a, even you don't know house. You will not find a good technician or electrician to do that job. Even tomorrow you make a house, you will not find an electrical consultant. From where it will come if everybody will go there? Then touts will. जो डॉक्टर नकली डॉक्टर होते हैं, नकली इंजीनियर बहुत मिलेंगे जो टाई लगा के फिर आपका घर बनाएंगे, जो हो रहा है आज. But whole of the university want this, these logos. We want to go to Google, Dell, Honeywell, L&T, this, that and all. So I have already briefed in my panel discussion that our training and placement letter need a change. It should be made for industry for which it is addressed. And then you have to have those skills, your students need to have those skills which that industry want. You cannot write, I am not interested that your place 90% students are placed in Google. Good enough. I am a power generation company. I would like to know what students have a knowledge of power industry. That is my need. Maybe Mr. Yadav that has gone is for semiconductor electronics knowledge he needed. So it will not happen. It has to be a skill mapping of students with the industry where you are targeting. It's a big problem. Don't think that is a simple problem. Skill mapping is a big problem. Who will do it? I don't know who will do it. But if somebody has to do it in a college or university, the skill mapping is very important. Indian engineering employability crisis. 50 lakhs is pass out,
70% are deemed employable. And then 17% is actually hired. So now the difference even has come between employable and actually hired. Earlier our question was that employable ही नहीं है. Now that test has come which evaluates the students. That's a make him employability. So you clear one test, you don't clear the interview, you come into hiring. So employability is still 70%, but still the people only get the job is 17%. It's a big problem, and 70% is for average. If I talk about electrical, which I am from my stream, it is 53%. This is McKinsey study, not my study. Now this is the current divide. I need fresh recruit who learn fast and deliver quickly, which I have said ability to learn. Performance-driven professionals who add value, not cost. Specialists alongside regular professionals, which Mr. Yadav has just said. If we need at least one expert, but he should be knowing other areas also. Long-term commitment. But what students bring? Unawareness of corporate culture and expectations. Over-reliance on theoretical knowledge alone. Degree-first mindset over skills-first mindset. Limited awareness of marketing dynamics and industry changes. So divide is not a talent problem, it's a preparation problem. We are not prepared. Opportunity is there. Preparation, if we do, luck will favor us. So preparation plus opportunity is a success. So the interaction of preparation and opportunity is where the careers are built. But we always think that luck karegi, luck nahi karegi. We have to prepare ourselves. This is again a McKinsey study a few years back. The industry needs attitude and ability to learn. They are expecting 93%. We are hardly at 47%. Domain knowledge, we are hardly at 30%. You know, maybe some computer engineers are studying, you can see on your AI and all other Google, that actually 5% of the pass outs can really do coding without any error. Otherwise, 70% are doing coding with so many errors for years together. And somebody is there as known as some quality manager or somebody who improves it. Because I am not from that field, but I have read it. So the problem is domain knowledge. Mechanical, electrical, ka to aap haal pucho mat. So that difference is too much. Then commitment and dedication. Ownership. One is the word is entrepreneur. Now second word has come into the modern world is entrepreneur. I say it. How much you own that organization, where you are working, wherever you are working, how you own commitment and dedication. Then self-motivation, शौक. By 3 Idiot he said कि तुम्हारा तो शौक था for going to the wildlife photography and you have come into engineering. So this is what is self-motivated. If you have come for engineering, please be self-motivated. Ethical behavior is very important in industry. बात चलता नहीं है. Non-ethical is not even 1% is allowed. Then operations management. Okay, how many students have really seen how the blanket works? Any student have seen how the blanket works? Nobody has seen it. That is operations management. You will make a software, you will make anything till the time you don't know operations. How you will make it? Go and see how the blanket works, how the small industry works. Go and see and you will find so many learning. The status quo is not an option, time for action now. Every year of inaction, we are meeting, we are doing conclave, but we are not reaching to some action. Now it's a time that is to help each other, either in the industry or academic. Let's come together and do this gap. Let's have a linking school concept. This school to be developed with some local industrialists and then some few partners or stakeholders from the university or college. Let 10 people, 15 people, 20 people say, I need this, you prepare this, I will contribute. And I am telling you industry can do this. But industry has a one ego problem. I also know it. मेरे पास how मैं करूँगा? जब तक नहीं आओगे मैं नहीं आऊंगा. This is the problem. So you have to go to the industry. Industry will not come to you. So academia, the linking school and industry. When this school will be established, I am very sure one person from computer, one from electrical, mechanical, civil, 10 people from industry, core industry, those who are having interest to develop academia, and then your college or university. That school will support all those activities, so your curriculum change or whatever trainings are required, everything. The school in campus. This will be school in campus. A non-profit model opened jointly by industry and institution, showing no commercial conflict and maximum student benefit, which I have said inspired by medical education. So this is what is medical college. Hospital has to be opened inside the campus, so that you should know everyday needs. Some presence of industry is required every day. The process is in-campus delivery that comprises of professional trainings, industry-specific certification program, because students always say we need certification. Okay, we can have some certification also. Then industrial projects. Then third is improvement projects, like lean, process improvement and quality projects, or any type of project, or any problem. Then guest lectures. So these are the combinations which we can do it in our linking school program. What is professional training programs? How it will happen? It will be industry vetted content. Industry conclave, I will not explain you how to make some biodiesel or some electrical engineering though. I have come for industry that it has to be that content only. So it has to be industry vetted. You are going to do this program, this person will be a trainer and he is expert of this field, he is going to come and deliver on you. Similarly, expert practitioners. Resource persons are selected by the linking school from active industry roles, ensuring every session delivers practical and credible insight. Most of the colleges or universities we go, it is not interestable. People are not interested in what you are saying because it is not of their choice. Similarly, सर्टिफिकेशन हर किसी को चाहिए कि मैं 2 घंटे बैठा हूँ मेरे को क्या मिलेगा, मैं सीख के भी गया हूँ, लेकिन कुछ तो चाहिए जो मैं बाहर जाके बोलूँगा यहाँ से करके गया. So some certification is required, of course, but again not college or university. It has to be endorsed by industry, not by college. This should be a basic training model. Every engineer should know it. I will not say mechanical, electrical, civil. Leadership and personality. Some program in linking schools will be conducted by industry that how to develop a leadership and your personality, which is business communication, working with the people, emotional intelligence, and competence building. Then operations management, supply management, project management, lean management, basic finance. People are not knowing who are joining industry what is GDP. People are not knowing what is gross profit, what is net profit, what is expenses, what is EBITDA. It's a basic finance, but not knowing. Quality management, I have already said, okay, Six Sigma can be optional, but at least basic quality management and environment management, health and safety management, basic things a student should know. Then IT management, AI, of course, these are the, every engineer should know it. It is now the whole curriculum has to be blended with this. Then core engineering. I want to go into power industry, I should be trained for power industry. I want to go for electrical manufacturing, I should be trained for electrical manufacturing. That one core should be developed among the students. Then industrial projects and summer internships. Projects are sourced directly from the real industry needs, not generic or any hypothetical exercises. Each project delivers memorable outcome for the partner organization. In the way they said, so many PhD are there, but how much is really applicable? Smart student matching. Students are allocated to projects based on their aptitude, academic background, and genuine interest. Full hand-holding. This school should do the full hand-holding of every project. in-house improvement project for your university. Do you know that in your university so many improvement projects are there? Is there any electrical engineer in the students? Or mechanical? Or civil? कौन से आप? Electrical, mechanical? Electrical. What is the college bill say, for example? Electricity bill. So let us reduce it. You have a project in your curriculum, or you are in as a project. Why to go outside? It itself is an industry. College itself is an industry. Water saving. So all these projects you can say in quality management, you can go for, college may not go for a quality management, but you can make a quality management, this manual for this. Environment management manual you can make. Health and safety management you can make for your college. So these are all activities which can come. Then lean processes. In our time, I don't know today, one college, our class should happen here, and second class used to happen in third building. I think that is not there as on today in university. It is happened in the same building. But in that time was required for lean processes. How to lean it, how to save the time, how to save the money. Guest lectures and FDIs. So that is faculty development programs. At least as Mr. Yadav and a gentleman from Hindustan Petroleum has said, that at least 70% of the faculty development program should involve industry professionals and experts. Not from faculty. Okay, 30% can be faculty, but 70% should be from industry, and that too relevant. I should not be called into a mechanical. I am an electrical guy. Why you are calling me for FDP? I will deliver electrical and you are doing FDP, and I have gone to many programs such that. It's electronics program, I have invited you. मैंने क्या करना? इधर आ जाओ, कोई नहीं आ जाओ, बंदे कोई हो जाएंगे. So not that. How it works? The student journey. Let the school enroll, then weekend training, live projects, and then graduate becoming ready for that industry. For particular industry, they will take ready. Either it's computer, either electrical, or either mechanical, and then further divided, maybe into textile, maybe into cement. So, and when you have these skills, and you say, I know sir, this is what you are going to ask me, I tell you, you will get a better salary than a software engineer. But unfortunately, we don't have that in our resume or in our training and placement letter. So this is the situation, win-win for everyone. I think industry and we both have to come together. For institution, better placement records, institution of choice for top recruiters, gain recognition as a leader in a practical applied education, and for students, of course, it's industry recognized certifications, real project experience, transition from graduate to professional with confidence. And for industry, industry is in a real pain. We don't have a domain engineers. We don't have a domain. Even if I am an IT engineer, he is not aware of what is finance, he is not aware of what is supply chain, he is not aware how he will make a successful coding. I am failed to understand. I have a few students from NIT outside my industry. How can I help him? I have to tell him what is GST, I have to tell him what is supply chain, I have to tell him what is GDP, I have to tell him what is gross profit and all, and taxes. So reduce retaining cost and faster time to productivity. And then shorter cycle to develop the future leaders they need. If you technically see, all software companies are linking school in their campuses. They train you as per their need, not as per your need, as per their need. And they spend lakhs of rupees on you to train them. Because the profitability level is very high, but the product life cycle, what I say PLC of that engineer is not high because they are training as per their needs. You should get trained as per the total industry needs. Then only your skill will matter. So with these words, I think I will not take much of the time. 15 minutes were given to me, so I am a little conscious about time. So any question on this is welcome.
you, sir. It is not my question basically, but I would like to clarify the same. Since last 10 years, that you can say, I am associated with attending so many sessions, conference, and as a panelist, as a speaker, and everywhere we generally say this is the need of the hour. There should be industry academic collaborations and so on and so. Whatever you are saying, that is correct. Guest lecture will be there and so on. But who will take the initiative and why it is not being done? The last 10 years back, okay, there is only changes that adoption of AI. Other than this, whatever we are saying, discussing since morning, it is as it is. What we discuss today, we will discuss again tomorrow. But why? There is what we say and what we do. There is a huge gap. Now, question is who will take the initiative to reduce this gap and to achieve what we are expecting? What is your view?
Sir, your query is absolutely right, and I think in the way I have replied in one of the slides, industry has an ego. Even I have an ego. मैं आज आया हूँ, आप बुलाओगे मैं फिर आऊँगा, नहीं बुलाओगे तो मैं नहीं आऊँगा. I'm sorry, Dr. Neha is sitting here. Dr. Neha मैंने पूछा मैं कितने बजे आऊँ? मैं 9 बजे आऊँ, मैं 10 बजे आऊँ. जब तक इसने बोला नहीं 10 बजे तक ना आऊँ, मैं नहीं आया 10 बजे. I'm sorry. I'm carrying that ego. So whole of the industry is carrying that ego. But in ego, I am in trouble also. मेरे को जरूरत भी है आप लोगों की, बहुत जरूरत है. मैं रोता हूँ शाम को कि मैं कहाँ से आदमी लाऊं, कहाँ से ट्रेंड आदमी लाऊं. तो अगर आप मेरे को बुलाओगे कि सर आप 3-4 अपने जैसे लाओ, हम यहाँ पे एक इलेक्ट्रिकल के लिए, मैं इलेक्ट्रिकल का आदमी हूँ, मैं ज्यादा ब्रांच में दूसरे में नहीं जाना चाहता, लेकिन आई विल ब्रिंग मैकेनिकल पीपल, आई विल ब्रिंग सम दिस चेन विच स्टार्ट्स, बट नॉट फॉर आई एम सॉरी कि टिके ले लो सर आप आ गए हो, बहुत अच्छा है, नहीं, इसके लिए नहीं. आज बैठे हो, दिस इज द मिनट्स ऑफ मीटिंग वी हैव मेड, दीज आर द स्किल्स आर योर इंडस्ट्री नीड, हाउ विल डेवलप दिस दिस एंड हाउ यू विल कंट्रीब्यूट टू दिस. ठीक है, I may not charge anything. My colleague would like to charge 2,000 rupees for coming in, but I will ensure you will come. My staff will come to you. I will ensure my staff will come to you. Any time you say I will come. ठीक है, for that staff you may have to give some TA or something like that. That is okay. That institution anyway is spending so many lakhs on this conclave also. So we have to slowly build this ecosystem. So let us come together. आप बुलाओगे इंडस्ट्री आएगी, आप नहीं बुलाओगे नहीं आएगी, चाहे उसको दर्द है फिर भी नहीं आएगी, वो कहीं से और कुछ करने की कोशिश करेगी. सो आप बुलाएं, इंडस्ट्री आएगी, एंड आई एम श्योर लाइक द पीपल आज बड़े पॉजिटिव पीपल थे, मिस्टर यादव, अनदर शिवानंद जी, these are the positive people, they will come to you. I think ये 4-5 आदमी हमारे को मिलकर आप मेकिंग स्कूल बना लो ना, स्टार्ट तो करो उसको. अभी आज इसको खत्म होने के लंच करेंगे, रात को डिनर करेंगे, कल कहेंगे बहुत अच्छा कंक्लेव हो गया, तो फिर तो नहीं होगा. अभी इस इंटरेक्शन को एक्शन में लाना पड़ेगा. मे बी वी हैव टू, इसको मैं बोलूंगा वी हैव टू टेक सम बेबी स्टेप्स. इट कैन नॉट बी बिगर स्टेप कि कल ही कुछ हो जाएगा, नहीं होगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा. वी हैव टू टेक सम बेबी स्टेप्स. 3-4 इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट आप लेके आओ, मैं लेके आता हूँ, I take a responsibility. शिवानंद जी भी लेके आएंगे, और लोग भी जितने बैठे they were all serious. I have seen it, and this is the first time I have seen so many serious industries coming on one common platform. We will bring, but now that passion is your required from your side. एक कमेटी बनाओ, ये लोग हों, उनसे आप इनपुट्स लें कि सर आप बताओ मेरे ये टॉपिक का प्रोग्राम कराना है, who is the right person in industry to deliver this program. अरे इंडस्ट्री, इलेक्ट्रिकल इंडस्ट्री में ऐसा कौन सा आदमी होगा जो मेरे को नहीं जानता होगा, मेरे 35 years एक्सपीरियंस इन दिस फील्ड. ऐसे मैकेनिकल का होगा, ऐसे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का होगा, ऐसे कंप्यूटर का होगा. एंड आई एम टेलिंग यू, अदर देन सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री, मैं सॉफ्टवेयर का मेरे को मालूम नहीं है बहुत ज्यादा, लेकिन डोमेन इंडस्ट्री इज इन ए बिग प्रॉब्लम. किसी को भी आप बुलाओगे, ही विल रेडी टू हेल्प यू. वो क्या कहेगा सर चलो मैंने ये इतने कुछ आपको सिखाया है, आदमी दिए हैं, सर्टिफिकेशन भी हो गया, इसमें से 2 स्टूडेंट्स मैं ही ले लूंगा, मैं 4 स्टूडेंट्स ले लूंगा, उस मेरा ही फायदा, मैं अपने फायदे के लिए आऊंगा. दैट इज व्हाट आई थिंक रिप्लाई. आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड.
Thank you, sir. Rightly said, because we are talking about industry should be future ready in terms of globalization.
Similarly, we expect institutes should provide students industry day.
Yeah, I have just made one model. You can make any model of it based on the industry, leadership, operations, quality, IT, core management. Okay, in last 6 months we have to teach these things, and industry should teach these. नहीं, कोई प्रोफेसर नहीं, sorry. Industry. चाहे एक डिप्लोमा होल्डर आके सिखा जाए, कोई बात नहीं. Sir, I have learned from an ITI. मैंने started my career, ITI ने मेरे को सिखाया था. आज भी एक डॉक्टर को जो स्टिचेस लगाता है, उसको वो वहाँ का OT का जो होता है, वही उसको सिखाता है. डॉक्टर कई बार नहीं सिखाता. So that's what the feedback is. Anyway, thank you, and if anything worry, I am there for a few minutes after this. And thank you, Dr. Neha, and then Professor Monica, and then Dr. Khosla, both Mr. and Mrs. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, sir, for your insightful lecture and the concept of linking school. We will definitely sit down after this conclave and we'll see how we can proceed. And so we shall now break for lunch. Lunch has been served, arranged at the Student Activity Center, ground floor, for all the speakers, delegates and faculty members. After lunch, we will reassemble at the same venue for the parallel technical sessions scheduled on the same venue, first floor, and 2 are the second floors. So let's move to the for the lunch. Thank you everyone. Vehicle is ready outside for our speakers. We can use them.